Morning. All right. Yeah, so let's just get right into it while we wait for other people to join. Welcome everyone to Tech Marketers Hub Masterclass. This is our masterclass, first masterclass this year. So I'm pretty excited to, just see how it goes, get all the lessons and everything that our facilitator Buki is here to sort of like share with us. Of course, there are a few house rules that would also dive in as we go along. But of course, while we're waiting for people to join, it would be great to get to know a couple of people here. So let me start with myself. My name is Tolu. I'm the community manager at Tech Marketers Hub. And then maybe I'll have Buki to introduce herself. Not the full introduction yet, just brief intro because so that before people come in, and then we'll now get to, of course, get to know other people on the call as well.
Okay, fantastic. So my brief introduction is just, my name is Buki. I'm in tech and product and marketing and advertising and media and analytics. But we'll talk about that later.
When I would definitely love to learn more about like the way you just said it, like
there's a lot. There's a lot. But what I'd love to get to know some people on the call. So from my own end, I've got Mesoma, Tofumi, Ebuka, OG, and Oluchi. So can we go first in that order? Anybody that wants to just tell us who they are, where they work, or what kind of work you do, or what kind of work you're hoping to get into, and is the reason you came on this course. So at any time, Tolu, you can just stop us when we're ready to start the actual class. But whilst we're here, the early comers, we can start gisting amongst ourselves. So, Mesoma, you are first.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Good morning. My name is Mesoma Lawrence. I am social media marketing manager, and looking forward to the insights from this masterclass.
Awesome. Mesoma, nice to meet you, and thank you for sharing the right pronunciation again. So we don't bamboozle your name.
Exactly. I would have practiced if it was me. I didn't get it at all.
That's fine.
Tofumi, you're next. Maybe Tofumi is not ready. Maybe we can have Ebuka.
Hi guys, good morning.
Good morning, Ebuka. We can hear you.
My name is Ebuka.
Okay,
so I handle digital marketing for PiggyVest and iFitness. I'm just really here to just I know that you're an OG, so I'm just here to hear what you have to say and just start from a wealth of experience.
Oh,
that's
thanks,
pretty much it.
Thank you. So from now on, I'm going to be referring to myself as the OG, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. Who's next? Okay, we skipped Tofumi. Oluchi and Sofo, can you share what you do or what you hope to start doing after this, what you hope to get into?
Hi, everyone. Good morning. My name is Oluchi. I'm a TV producer and a strategist. Very excited to be here and very excited to hear Buki is also a media person. So that's an extra boost for me. Recently started consulting for some tech brands, and then of course got very interested in what marketing is all about in this space. So I'm very excited to be here.
Thank you, Oluchi, for sharing. I've left your media, so I don't know if we can still call it a media person, but it's somewhere in my past. Okay, thanks, Oluchi. Titi Lola Shitu, can you share? Who are you? What kind of job do you do? Or what kind of job do you hope to be doing soon?
Hi, everyone. My name is Titi Lola. I'm a product marketing associate at a tech startup. So I joined this marketing masterclass, hoping to gain more clarity. That's my main purpose.
Thank you, Titi Lola. Thanks for sharing. You've come to the right place. Eniola Arowo Shegbe. Oh, I'm sorry. And I'm Yoruba, but I hope I got that right. Arowo Shegbe.
Yeah, you got it now. So yes. Hello everyone. I'm Eniola. I do growth marketing at Alt School Africa, and I'm here to just learn how I can help Alt to make more money so I can make more money.
Good, 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 good. Happy to have you here, Eniola. Omotayo, are you there? Can you share what you do or what job you hope to be doing next?
Hi everyone, my name is Omotayo Lasoji. I'm a content marketer for an edtech startup, and I joined because I think I've been following Buki for a while on Twitter, and I also want to learn from the field of marketing. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, I hope I haven't tweeted anything, should I say nonsensical, since you have been following me. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here. Who's next? Dikbo or Feishayo? Dikbo, do you want to go next? Just tell us what kind of work you do or what kind of work you hope to be doing after this. Okay, maybe Dikbo is not ready. Maybe we'll take Ochua Idonije. I hope I got it right.
You tried. It's Ochua. Hi, Buki.
Ochua.
Good morning. Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. So I'm actually a product designer. That's my 9 to 5, but I'm also transitioning to become a product marketer. So like everybody has said, Buki is an OG. So when I joined, Tech Marketers Hub, Buki used to talk a lot. So, this lady knows her cookies and all of that. So I'm here to learn from her, a lot of experience as well. So yeah.
So people are depending on me today. Buki, don't fumble, please, please. Ochua, nice to have you here. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we skipped Ebuka. Oh, no, we didn't skip Ebuka. It was Dikwa we skipped. I'd like to hear from the guys. Okay, let's just go to Owoeye Williams. I hope you're a guy. I want to hear from a guy.
Yes, I am. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I actually just joined the call, but I'm assuming you're asking why we joined or why we registered for the event here.
Yeah, tell me what job you do or what job you hope to be doing soon.
Okay, I'm a digital marketer. So, and the name is actually Owoeye, not Owoeye. No problem. So,
me of all people should know how to pronounce that name. My surname is Osunkeye. Oh. So I suspect it's the same Eye as your own Eye, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry about that. Go on, tell me about your work.
Okay, I'm a digital marketer, and I'm also in the comms field because just try to juggle it with I'm affiliated with a number of non-profits, so try to juggle marketing with comms as well. So
okay. I get you. Thank you for sharing. I think we'll just take 2 more people real quickly because Tolu tells me that we're nearly starting. 2 more people would be, oh gosh, Gift, can you share what work you do? Gift Ekbe? Are you there?
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Gift.
Oh, okay. So currently I work as a content strategist with a marketing agency, and I'm looking to transition into becoming a product manager. So basically that's it.
Thank you, Gift. Thank you for sharing. Okay, you're in the right class. And last but not the least, can we have another guy, maybe Jimo or Maris? Is Maris a guy? Maris? Can you share what you do or what you hope to be doing soon? Okay, Maris is not there. Oops. Wando, can you share? Okay, Wando is not available. Esther Ebere, can you just share what kind of work you do? If Esther is not available, maybe who else? Kay, can you share what work you do? Actually, can everyone still hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so no more sharing.
Right.
We're going to start in a minute then. Let me just lock up my door so that we don't. Give me 1 second.
All right, no problem, no problem. Okay, welcome everyone. It's great to hear like the people who introduce themselves. It's great to hear more about you and what you do as well. And I'm really glad that everyone is here on this masterclass. Basically, just a brief introduction again. My name is Tolu. I'm the community manager at Tech Marketers Hub. And for those of you who maybe are not a part of our community, we are a community of tech marketers by marketers where we share resources, we share opportunities, and we host events as well to foster our careers, as marketers in the field. Both whether you are a newbie or you are an OG already in the system, right? We ensure that, of course, we provide resources, opportunities, people on the community to sort of help each other. People are free to always like share questions that maybe they need answers to in the course of maybe their job or their career, or maybe even if it's a course that they are doing and they need a little bit more clarification, right? We've obviously created a community to ensure that every marketer is supported throughout, their career journey, whether you're working with an agency, whether you're working at a startup, or you're working with an FMCG, regardless of where exactly you work, as long as you're a tech marketer, right? It's also very important and very paramount that we support ourselves. And that's what we do basically at Tech Marketers. I'm a growth marketer as well. I work with a tech startup here in Lagos. But yeah, so Buki is our facilitator. She's the one that has been getting to know quite a bit of people here in the call already. And of course, she will definitely do a much more detailed introduction of herself. But we're really glad. Thank you, Buki, for taking our time out of your schedule to join us today. We really do appreciate it. And of course, I'm sure everyone here is ready to sort of like learn, dive in, and just sort of like get all the knowledge that they can possibly amass, and then of course, grow from there to better they're applying it to their current jobs or they're hoping to apply it, in an upcoming job, right? The point is the knowledge is really important and it's something that will help in our careers. So a little bit of house rules before we get started. Please, I would love to encourage everyone to please mute your mic at all times, right? So that we don't interrupt or cause a distraction to Buki. If you have any questions at the end, let me just start with how the session is going to go. So we're going to have a presentation, of course, by Buki, and of course, where she'll be doing the deep dive into the knowledge sharing session. She'll be talking about the tools, and then of course, we'll have like practical demo sessions as well. After that, we'll definitely break out into different like groups where we'll sort of like do a little bit of classwork just to see how much you've been able to get from the class, and then of course there'll be a Q&A session after. Now, if you do have any questions in the first aspect of the class, please just write it down somewhere, while she's done. So once she's done with the first session of the class, before we break out into the different rooms, right, then there'll be a very 5 minutes Q&A session where she can ask any question, because you never know, maybe the question would help you, by the time you do get into your groups, it will help you with, the work that you're supposed to do. So we'll have a quick Q&A session after that. But in the meantime, before then, please just write all your questions down, note them down, and then once it's time, we'll obviously do it in a very orderly manner and ensure that everyone's question is answered. For those who maybe might not talk, then once it's time for the Q&A, you can drop your question in the chat box as well so that we can see it. But yes, so I guess Buki, it's over to you at this point.
Thank you very much, Tolu, our wonderful community manager. Guys, I'm so happy to be here. I can't even tell you. I really love teaching. I love taking people through the knowledge that I've garnered over the years. And for me, I would advise you, this is the best way to spend a rainy Saturday morning. For those of us in Lagos. If there's some people that you know that are yet to join, that are yet to register, please, this is the time to send them a text, send them a message and say, you know what? I mean, put off that Netflix that you're watching, just come and learn for a couple of hours. You will not regret it, honestly. So like Tolu mentioned, I'm going to be sharing for a little bit. I'm going to try and keep it to about 45 minutes, but I tend to ramble because I really love what I do. I love marketing, advertising, tech, you know, so I tend to talk a lot, but I'll keep looking at the time on my computer to make sure that I'm not overshooting. So what I'd also wanted to do before, you know, the whole plan was to get you guys to go into the tool practically and, you know, and sort of work out with the case study that I've given you. But then on trying this week, I realized that, you know, there's a little bit of a lag process where you need approvals and, you know, verification before you get it. So we scrapped that. But what I've done for you instead is that I've invited the guys from engage.so and Termine to join the call later on and share their screen and just take us through their tool for about 10 minutes each. So that's pretty exciting because I found out that if I were to share my screen and show you, you know, the workarounds of how I use the tools, I might be sharing some proprietary information that belongs to the companies that I do this for. So, you know, we decided against that idea, but let the guys that own the tool also come and share at the time when it's ready. So I'm going to go straight into it. Share my screen here. Right. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay, fantastic. So I hope I'm sharing the PowerPoint version. So Tolu asked me about introductions earlier on. A little bit about me, okay? 1 second, okay. A little bit about me, just so that you know that you're learning from the right person. I've not come here to bamboozle anybody. I am a CIM UK Chartered Marketer, and I'm up for fellowship in maybe a few months' time, I'm not sure. I'm an IDM Certified Digital Marketer, and I've had executive training at the Wharton Digital Transformation course at the Wharton School. I was a former head of product marketing at Sterling Bank, but for a long time, I worked in advertising and media and then rose to become the general manager at Algorithm Media. You know, I previously worked in digital media and strategy. So over the past many, many years of my career, I developed and executed campaigns for companies like Nokia, Coca-Cola, and yes, WhatsApp. You know, I did a couple of campaigns for WhatsApp and Meta. The briefs came directly from Palo Alto for us here in Nigeria to do their marketing down. That was in the days before they opened up an office here. So my expertise lies in techpreneurship because I've founded a couple of tech products myself, growth hacking, and I actually know coding. Imagine that, the things you do when you're eager to learn. I know a bit of Python and I'm skilled in SQL, which is why I also said earlier on that I'm a data analyst. I do product management and I do growth hacking. So thank you very much for the person that follows me on Twitter. In case anybody wants to get some tips or anything later on, my online name is Buki Azaria everywhere, Buki with an I. But let's get into it. Right. I noted down the job descriptions of people on this call. So I'd say that a lot of people are not yet in product management, but everything that we'll be talking about here is really around those who want to be doing product management or marketing, product marketing in tech apps. I cannot stress it enough, okay? It's very, very, very important that you understand what skills are expected of you, particularly if you're working in tech and working on a tech product, which is obviously mostly an app, a web app or an app on the phone, or maybe a consumer app or a B2B app, right? We all know marketing, right? Most people know about advertising on billboards. Yeah, you see a billboard or 2 or 3 or 4 every time on your way home. But the truth of the matter is that majority of the marketing that we all do is general marketing. When you become a tech marketer, a product marketer, you need to have accountability. Your own work really involves how many people did you cause through your advertising, through your marketing to come and buy our product? How much is the percentage that we're growing from the activities that you are doing? So we've seen the marketing funnel, but I'll take you through it again. The marketing funnel goes like this. A customer hears about your product somewhere, or they see it, or they can't really remember where they've heard it from. You understand? TV, radio. Sometimes I'll hear a radio jingle about 3 times, 4 times before it registers that this is this product, okay? Or occasionally when you drive by, you capture, a billboard in your head and it starts to stick in. But really and truly, those things don't lead to conversion. They don't lead to somebody actually downloading your app or going into the supermarket to go and buy your product. It only keeps it top of mind. So other activities that you engage in as a marketing person, yes, social media management, you could be a sales agent, you could be somebody in a call center. All those things are pulling people through the funnel. But the final act is when the person actually decides to make a purchase. All the while, they're hearing about it, they consider, they're evaluating their options for that thing that they want to purchase, or even evaluating whether they need this product in their life. Now, the point where your work as a tech marketer comes in is this little green and yellow box that you can see here. Once they've made a purchase, right, the first thing you want to ensure is that you're capturing their data. That is how you start to build a relationship with your customers. So there was a lady that said that she's in media, she's a TV producer and a strategist. How are you capturing the data of the customers that you sell to, that you market to? Because that is what is really important for the next phase of the marketing. You as a tech marketer are in charge of every single thing to do with after you have captured the data of your customer. And when I say data, I mean you now have the most basics: name and email, or name and phone number. You need an ID and a means of contact to associate this customer with. Now, once you have gotten the customer's data, right, and you have it in some database, please don't dull. I've seen a lot of people making this mistake, that they have tons and tons and tons of customer data and they're not utilizing it well. I could name some names, but you know what? When I say name some names, I mean some institutions. They're just firing out emails, once a week, twice a week, that sort of thing. But once you have somebody's phone number or email, don't misuse that opportunity. It's a chance to start some kind of engagement, and it's a chance to grow. So for me, for example, if you have my email address, right, and you're communicating with me through, every single time I open an app, obviously, let's use banking apps now as an example. When I open my app, I get a notification, right, in my email that the app has just been opened. The reason you sent me that notification is because you want me to know the app has been opened in case it wasn't me. But then don't miss that chance to engage further. If you've sent an email, this is a chance to say more or get me to do more, right? But we'll talk on that later on. So every single thing to do with the purchase and loyalty aspect of owning a tech product is where your job comes in. If you get a job as a product marketer, as a product manager, as somebody in product in tech, your MD or your boss does not want to start to hear more strategies and tactics on awareness and interest and this is that. They need to see conversion. How are you bringing people through the funnel to finally purchase our product and purchase our product? One, get more people to use our product, get them to use it more often, and get them to spend more money when they're using it more often. So the marketing funnel comes by different names, right? We've heard the Pirate R and all that. But I need you to keep in mind, right, that your most urgent and most critical role as somebody in tech marketing is attract the customer into downloading your app, into subscribing to your service, into coming to your website, right? Retain them. What is the percentage of people that you are retaining on a daily or weekly or monthly basis, right? And then, of course, increase that number. So, for example, for every 100 people that visit your website, right, if only 3% of the people used to go ahead and subscribe or used to go ahead and download the app after that, your job is to increase that 3% to 10% tomorrow, to 25% tomorrow. But not only is it your job to increase the percentage, is to also ensure that that gap between people that come to the website and people that subscribe or download or whatever, it never reduces. You want to ensure that you have a high percentage. If there's a high gap between the number of people that come to your website and the number of people that eventually go on to purchase your product, download or subscribe or whatever, if there's a high gap, then there's something wrong with the awareness advertising that you're doing somewhere else. That means that there's a disconnect between what you advertise outside that your company does, and then when they finally get to your website or your product and they see, oh, it can't do that feature, it doesn't offer that, there's a problem there. Second part, retain. If I've downloaded your app, right, and which we call an install, right? Now, for the number of people that are installing your app, again, your job is to ensure that that number starts to end. I'll give you an example. I once worked on a banking app that we're seeing so many downloads on a daily basis, so many, right? Let's say for every 100%. But then what was happening? We're not getting the commensurate number. If 100 people download the app, we're not getting 100 people start to use the app. That means that there's just a campaign going on and they say, this app seems interesting. Then they download. But guess what? That's not, I haven't acquired a customer. As far as your MD is concerned, that is not an acquisition. Why? Because they have not registered and they have not actually started to use a service. So acquisition in marketing starts when they've signed up for a service. So to use a banking app as an example, right? If I've downloaded the app, that's not success. If I finish my registration and done my KYC, that's not yet success. Now, what is success is the day I transfer maybe 100 Naira or 100,000 Naira onto the app. A transaction has happened. You have acquired the customer. Until that happens, that number of people on the app is not a success. Another thing that is considered a success is, hey, I have 100,000 Naira in the app, and then I pay a bill, pay a NEPA bill, pay a water bill. They've engaged, they've transacted. That is success. So your job as a marketer is to be recording the percentage of people that you are retaining that are being engaged on the app compared to the number of people that are downloading. If I have a marketer, or let's say I'm a senior manager and I have lots of marketers on my team, I don't want to keep hearing, yes, people are installing our app, people are installing our app. That doesn't translate to money. Money is that they transacted on the app. Let's get to I, increase. How are we, one, either getting the current customers to do more transactions, or to refer their friends to start doing a transaction, or to spend more money per transaction? I hope I'm communicating. Either you do more transactions. So if you're on a banking app, my job as a tech marketer is, one, if you pay your NEPA bill, I want you to also use it to pay your DSTV, pay your school fees, I don't know, whatever else you pay, let's say 5 things, right? But if you're doing one of those transactions each, the next point of success for me is to get you to do them more times. So for example, if you're buying data, I don't want you to just buy data once a month. I want you to always come back to buy data using my app. Don't go to another bank, right? So can you see more transactions, more value per transaction? And then also the final aspect is that what am I doing as a brand to ensure that you are bringing in your cohort, your network, and telling people? I'm going to have to use a live example. Have you noticed how when you're on Twitter and people are talking and saying, which app can I use to send money to UK these days? Or which app can I use to receive money from America? Have you noticed how people people using a certain brand are very quick to jump in? They're not being paid. The actual truth is, if your app is working well and is satisfying your current customers, they'll recommend you to other people. But if there's a problem, then nobody's going to be recommending. And very soon, even the people you have on there will be jumping ship to another brand, right? So put this acronym, put it down, ARIA. This is your job. ARIA, as soon as you enter any organization, is the job that you are there for. Not just for people to know about your brand. That's the work of media people. That's the work of general marketing people, branding people, right? A tech marketing person is you cause all those metrics to grow, increase quantity of usage, increase spend per usage, and then increase through their network, through their cohort. Because at the end of the day, your job is to add value, okay? So why do we need marketing automation tools? Why do we need marketing? Why? Because at the end of the day, the more you do it and you do it better, it reduces your cost per lead, right? Now, let me explain what that means. the end of the day, you had to advertise in 5 different websites, right? At say $1 per website, $1 per click to get me, right? To reduce your cost per lead, you ensure that you are treating me well on the product. I'm getting all the information I need. Your, I find things easy. Your product is well designed. Everything is well, the navigation is great. Why? Because then I'm going to tell 10 more people tomorrow. Those 10 people are going to tell 10 more people. So next time, you don't need to be spending, you don't need to advertise on 5 different websites. The virality starts from there. The word of mouth starts from there. So each new customer that you attain starts to be cheaper. Next point, leads to sticky product stickiness. If you're doing the right things, if you're sending me the right content in your email, if you're sending me the right text messages, trust me, very soon you'll be the app that I'm opening every day or every week or every month that I need to do whatever it is. But if you're not sending the right information or automating the right things at the right time, and the customer finds it very confusing, if they're not having a nice time on your app, it won't stick. So it will be easy for a new brand to come into play at some point in the market, and everybody says, let me go and try that out. I mean, I'll ask some questions shortly, and you'll be able to tell me some brands that you switched to based on one brand did not satisfy you, and there was no stickiness in the head, right? Heightens customer experience, which is the same thing. If I have a good experience on your app, if you're emailing me at the right time, communicating the right things, I will not leave. It helps to track, measure, and plan. What you cannot track, you cannot record success. I cannot say that enough for marketers. If there's one thing that I want you to take away from this place, from this course, is analytics. You need to analyze. You need to live and breathe numbers. Then, of course, it reduces friction in the organization. I worked in an organization once when, every department will come and say, there's this information that our customers need to know. Buki, you're on your team. Oh yeah, send the email tomorrow. Then a few hours time, another department will say, please, our customers don't know about this, that, because you all know, in product management, there's different teams that handle different parts of the product, right? But me, who's in charge of marketing, I was always getting requests that I should send out an email to customers, tell them they haven't used the service. It can't work like that. You're going to be bombarding your customers. So what I did was I created a schedule and a newsletter whereby this thing is going to go out on so-so time at so-so day. Anybody who gets their information in from their departments by that time, you will be in that newsletter because of the way I broke it down. Customer will know about this, then there's a call to action. This information, then a call to action. This information, then a call to action. If you don't get in your material by that time, honey, we're not in business. You cannot come to my desk again and start saying, send out a blast. So that reduction of friction in the organization between different departments is your job, to automate everything, to make it very smooth. And at the end of the day, remember that ultimate role of marketing automation is to increase product usage and spend. Please, 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 if you're going to sit down and have a conversation with your senior manager, with your MD, with anybody, if you're not talking all those things that I did, this is how it resulted in increased usage, increased spend from the customer, and increased revenue to the business. Please just know that they're not listening. All they want to hear is money. How has this thing led to more money for the business? Okay, moving on. This is a slide I really want to spend a little bit of time on, and I'm conscious also of time because I promised that I'll talk for 40 minutes. Now, I want to ask anyone on the call, right? Look through this slide, look at this slide, and tell me if there's any of the tools that I've named here that you are familiar with. Can I pick someone at random? I want to be sure that we're all here, that we're all listening. I don't want to be lonely, right? Eniola, are you there? Titi Lola. Okay, Eniola. Eniola.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with these tools.
Okay. Are there any of these tools that you're familiar with that you've utilized?
Yeah, definitely.
Which one?
I think Google Analytics, then MailChimp. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Anybody else? Oluchi, are you familiar with any of these tools?
Yes, I am. Slack, MailChimp, and I just took a course and came across Mixpanel.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you for that, Oluchi. So I want to spend some time on this slide, right? You see these 5 different areas. Anybody in tech marketing must know at least one of these, at least one. One thing I want you to take away from this call today is that if you don't have knowledge of something inside one of these buckets, please, please, please go onto their website and start to learn. Now, I would advise anybody, your first port of call when you get to any new company, the first set of people that you make friends with. Usually in the past, we used to say it's HR. You go to HR, you get your badge, you get your ID and all those things, and you make friends with those there. As a marketer, your best friends are the analytics team. I cannot stress it enough. Those guys, the data team, the people that are bringing out the data to tell you whether your marketing has succeeded or not, make those guys your best friend, right? Now, with analytics, let me talk through some of the tools one by one, right? Google Analytics, we all know it's the most convenient, most common to use in analyzing, what's happening on your website. But then you must also remember that what are the actual numbers that we need to know? It's not every single thing. I don't really, sometimes I don't want to know how many people are coming to the website. That hasn't done anything for me. But then there's let me use an example. There was an insurance company. One of the key things that we always wanted to know was, where are the customers coming from, right? If we say that we're selling this new insurance product in Ibadan, and then we go and look at the analytics, and the highest number of people that are coming on the website are still coming from Port Harcourt, that means that the campaign in Ibadan is not working, So apart from knowing analytics, you also need to know how to digest information. So, but the good thing is that for a lot of big organizations, these roles are broken up. So it's not all on your head. You just need to know what it is that you're asking the team for. So for Qualtrics and Mixpanel, honestly, I would beg everybody to please, please, please go and learn how it works. The developers generally like to implement Qualtrics and just give you some of the data that's coming out of there, and all that stuff. But honestly, personally, Mixpanel has come to just change the world. Tech marketers, you need to understand how to use Mixpanel, okay? But then there's an area that a lot of people actually ignore that I find. For me, in my previous roles, I really had to understand I had to understand what was going on in the Google Play Store and the Apple Store, the iOS Store, because I need to see the numbers on a daily basis and I need to juxtapose it next to the numbers inside the app. So of course, Play Store tells me installs, number of installs, number of unique installs. So unique installs means that what are the actual new install, not that somebody uninstalled and installed again, right? So I want to know what are the fresh people, who are the fresh people that are actually coming onto the app. Also, what does Play Store tell me? It tells me where they're coming from, what countries they're coming from, right? So if I'm seeing a lot of numbers, coming from a certain state or a certain region, I'm like, okay, maybe our marketing is working there. And if I'm not seeing coming from one certain region, I'm like, okay, something is going on. The people here don't know. But guess what? Let me tell you where strategy comes in. It's really important to be so well versed in strategy and understanding and the analytics. There was a time I did a campaign and I noticed that, even though we're advertising heavily in the north, right? North of Nigeria, majority of my downloads were still coming from Lagos. We're still coming from the south. You know what? I would love to give a cookie or a basket of chocolates to anybody that can understand why I'm advertising in the north and my downloads are still coming from Lagos and the southwest. Is anybody that can guess why that is? If I'm advertising in, let's say, northeast, let's say, Kogi State, and my advertising digital marketing is, I don't know, in Plateau State, in Jos State, but the higher number of downloads is still coming from Lagos. Anybody want to guess? Anybody? Okay, let me check in the chat. People in Lagos need it most. My messaging. William Abrefa, go ahead, please.
So I'm thinking you do not really target a specific location. So just like northeast. So if you say northeast, I'm a Ghanaian, so I don't really know the Nigerian, but I'm thinking if you say northeast, it can be general, general, but if you are specific to, let's say, this particular location and this particular region, then you'll be targeting the people within that particular area.
Okay, let me, I like your answer, William, and it's similar to the answers I'm getting on the chat, but it's something that just stumps people. Let me tell you what the answer is. The ratio of smartphones, the percentage of smartphone ownership in Lagos versus ownership in the northern region is still astounding, right? So trust me when I say, from my years of experience, no matter what kind of campaign you do around Nigeria, you are still going to get your heaviest downloads coming from Lagos State. Why? Because the impressions that you're getting in the north are on laptops. They're not on their phone. So they know about it, they know about your product, you understand? And then sometimes maybe it's on a shared resource, maybe it's on a laptop at work or at school. But the reality of it is that the people that are taking action is because they, what was one bank manager called it? He said they have the means to express themselves, right? Expression, your mobile phone is your expression. So no matter what you do, no matter what you advertise on DSTV or whatever, you understand, anything technology, where are the smartphones? The smartphones are always in the Southwest and the South, right? So that's the answer. That's why we're getting that. But then also, let me tell you another reason, right? Another reason that sometimes you don't consider is that if you don't have a presence, an office presence in that place, in that region where you're advertising, you're kind of just advertising into the air. It's just a nice advert. If they don't really know where they can take action or where there's where they have any recourse to more information, to more evaluation, to more contact, they're going to look at your ad, but then they might not take action because you're not present in their market. So all this analysis actually takes a lot of things into consideration before you can say that, yes, you know what, I'm a strategic product manager. You have to take a lot of information from different places. But let me move on. Let me move very fast. So I hope you guys have taken note of this. For in-app messaging, you know, the developers are always able to do some really great things with Firebase. But I understand, I mean, Twilio we used to use that for mostly SMS. But look into CleverTap, look into Pushy for, you know, any kind of journey that you want to do on the app itself and not just email marketing. Now, for those of you that said MailChimp, we've all used MailChimp. We've been using MailChimp for many years. But I have news for you. When you get into very large organizations, I've worked in organizations that have 3 million staff. They're not going to be using MailChimp. So one thing that you can do for yourself is that start to familiarize yourself with the products that have a larger enterprise solution. I know I had conversations with the guys at Braze, Eatable, and some other companies like that. I mean, let me give you an example. Those of us, I'll say us, using MailChimp. I have a small business that we use MailChimp for. I'm not even sure. Do we pay $10 or $20 a month, something like that? Guys, when you get to real hardcore marketing automation, we're talking tools that your bank or your business has paid $25,000 a year for. That's the average cost. I think actually, no, between $14,000 to $25,000, right? Or there's some as much as $30,000. So what they expect from you is to really fully immerse yourself in those products. But I told you there's good news. I've got the guys from engage.so and also Termine coming a little later on to just show us the workings of inside their app. And then, of course, as an analyst, as a marketing person, you cannot escape a visualization tool. I'm going to tell you guys a little joke. You know, I came from the advertising world. So I was so used to doing PowerPoint presentations to present to clients. We're always having pictures and, you know, presentations, fancy things like this one that I designed for you here. So when I first left advertising many years ago, and I had to make a presentation to my MD, I opened up PowerPoint, I started designing some things, and only for the data guys to send me some stuff. And I was like, oh, wow, how did you do that? Which tool did you use? And they said, Power BI. What do you use? Like, so basically what I'm trying to say is that Microsoft Power BI makes it very beautiful for you to be able to present your data. Please don't go and start complicating things. Just learn how to use Microsoft Power BI. I cannot stress that enough. It makes it, puts all the charts, the pie charts, this is that. So I had to basically, you know, go into training a lot for that to be able to present the numbers. The only thing that senior management is interested in is numbers. They don't want to know that we paid this influencer 2 million naira and then the influencer now did this, that, you understand? No. Okay, I'm trying to move on very fast, right? Any one of you getting into a new company, this is my checklist, this 8-point checklist for when you get into the new company. Be sure to ask these questions, be sure to specify these things. Number one, be religious about event tracking. A little story. I consult for different companies, different SMEs as well. And I was doing a project with some company and, very small team. And as I got there, I was like, okay, this is the tool that we're going to subscribe to, and it's going to cost this amount per month. And I'm not even talking the $25,000 ones. And what they said to me, oh, we don't want to spend any money. That is a red flag for me. If you, as a company, you want to grow and you're not spending money on analytical tools, it's like, for me, exit stage left. I'm not staying with these guys, because at the end of the day, I need to be able to judge, where was I when you employed me? Where are we now? How are we growing? How are we getting better? Okay. Number two, capture good quality data. When I say good quality data, if your team is going out there, like some of you are, there's somebody here from somewhere like PiggyVest, okay? Now, if your team is going out, let's say you work for an insurance company, you work for, I don't know, even the traditional bank, always check what is their means of capturing data. What is the methodology and what fields do they have? I've seen a lot of people that they're not religious about putting data in the right places. So when I'm putting my data buckets into my tool, I will see, someone like, my name is Buki Osunkeye. I'll now see Buki Osunkeye in the field of name, but nothing in surname. That is not helping. That is not going to help. I'll see addresses that are incomplete, right? So therefore, if your address field is incomplete, like we're talking about, when William was saying about the Southwest and Southeast and that, if your address is incomplete, how do I target properly? I'm going to think that I'm reaching William in Ghana. Meanwhile, his address just looks like somewhere that is here. So he's not getting the advert that is targeted at him, right? So it's very important. If you get into an organization and some of these things are not set, before you can start your work, you need to scrap the whole system and start again. I'm not kidding. Redesign the field form that they're using to capture data. Name, email, phone number field, address field. Those, very basic ones must be done very, very well. And then not just that, you need to have conversations with the sales team that when you're going out and you're capturing this data, right, be sure to be meticulous about it. We've seen people who allow their customers to write Iyakubura, right? Fine, Iyakubura, if that's what you want to be called, but does it really help in, how I want to communicate with you later on? What are the policies of my company? Am I going to send an email saying, dear Iyakubura? I don't know, some of those things. So the salespeople have to be very, very meticulous about where they're putting in the data. A lot of traditional banks in Nigeria are really struggling now, because when the advent of tech came up, they had badly captured data sitting in their system. There's millions and millions of customers in the banks who they were not properly captured. So we don't have a current phone number for them. You don't have a, maybe sometimes they captured the phone number and one digit is missing. That means you don't have that customer at all in your system. That means you cannot engage with that customer at all, phone number missing. So for example, email was not spelled correctly, or they forgot to put the at the right place or the dot at the wrong place. You're going nowhere. That means you're not really communicating. So at the end of the day, how it impacts you as a marketing person is you're sending out tons and tons of emails, but some of them are coming back not delivered. You're sending out tons of information, but your database is not growing. Your customer base is not growing because data was not captured properly. Number three, be obsessed with customer profiles. What do I mean by that? Each customer, we'll see that later on in the case study. Each company, you have to really know your lifestyle of the customers in your bucket. Who is this person? How many children does he have? What kind of work does he do? What kind of income does he have? Where are the places that he socializes? Where is his first, second, and third place? What we call first, second, and third place is that the first place that you go to every day. The second place is somewhere that incidentally you have to engage in, but your third place is also your place of socialization. So for me, it could be a social club, could be somewhere like Lagos Country Club or Ikoyi Club or Metropolitan Club or that sort of thing. What does that say about my lifestyle package? What does that say about the way that you communicate with me and the messaging that you share? So you have to build the profiles of your customers. Every company has to have about 4 to 6 customer profiles. When I was working with, there was a client that I worked with, a milk brand, a famous, popular nationwide milk brand. They had 5 customer buckets, and they were a family type of bucket that we engaged with on a monthly basis. We're very religious with that. This type of family likes this type of product, and we communicate with them in this type of way. This type of family has this, that. So once those have been set, right, it makes all your marketing and your engagement for ongoing just sail smoothly. But it takes a lot of a lot of contact with your customers, a lot of one-on-ones, a lot of, I mean, because at the end of the day, you can't sell to who you don't know, to who you don't understand, okay? Number 4, have you got objectives? Don't allow anybody to bamboozle you and say, go inside there and go and advertise. Again, you know, in my past marketing, some of the departments will come and say, Buki, my own product, you haven't made some noise. Go and make some noise about my product. Go and do some razzmatazz. What does that mean, right? Be sure that at the end of the day, before you start any activity, what do you hope to come back out of it, right? And a lot of times, I'm sorry to say, we get it wrong in Africa. You'll see situations where maybe an MD or the director's wife has one business somewhere, and then they'll say we should go and sponsor something, or we should go and partner with somebody somewhere. You understand? Those things, apart from just being unethical, they also do not add to the bottom line of the business. Because at the end of the day, have we aligned that the kind of customers that are going to be in that event have the same kind of customer profile as our customers, and our products are in synergy? It has it. But sometimes we do these things just because, you know what, the company makes a lot of money. At the end of the day, what is my objective? Sometimes I run a campaign. My objective is for you to you know, open the app more times than you did last. That's what we call launch the app. Or sometimes I want you to spend more. Like if I do you an offer and say buy one, get one free or whatever, that means that the following month, I need my income from you as a person, even if it was $50 per month, the value, the average revenue from this one user, I want to increase my value, my revenue per customer. So there's so many different objectives. We'll look into that later on. Segment into channels, into buckets at all times. As the names are getting into your database, everybody's name has to go into a particular bucket that you've decided, because you're going to set your comps per bucket that is inside there. Metrics that matter is kind of the same thing as number 4. What is the metric that matters to you? Sometimes some people just come and tell me, oh, overall, we want to grow our customers. That means nothing. Like I said in the beginning, that, you know, acquiring more customers is not a metric. I want to know what the growth rate. I recently looked at one of the numbers of a project that I did last year. And to be fair, I was a bit disappointed, because I saw that on the whole, we were only growing marginally by 20% per month. Whereas I thought that, you know, we did this campaign and, you know, at the end of the day, we're doubling. In my head, I really thought that for all the spend that we're doubling the customer usage per month. But yeah, 25%. So it really depends on what statistics are good for you. Number 7, use a tool. Number 8, always create a journey. Now, just to touch on this number 8 a little bit, right? The engaged guys will show you what the journey looks like inside their own app. But trust me, before you get inside the app, your journey must be mapped out religiously, judiciously on paper. What do I mean by journey? If Oluchi buys a product from me, right? And from today, she has become a customer. Now, I'm going to send her a verification email or verification SMS. Once the product gets delivered, I'm going to send her a verification email or SMS or whatever. Now, what happens next, right? I'm going to send maybe in 3 days, 4 days, did you like your product email? In about maybe 2 weeks, I'm going to send another one saying, would you like to recommend us to your friends? Then in 30 days, I'm going to send newsletter. And for me, Oluchi has become a customer in the sense that from now on, she's going to be a recipient of that newsletter every 30 days. But then what else? There has to be a journey based on this person that has now entered my company bucket, has entered the funnel. How do I start to communicate with her from now on till she buys another product or till she exits the company? Okay. Now, I've touched on this, what channels to automate. You can automate your SMSing, push notifications, your email drips, the dynamic content that you see inside the app. You can even automate WhatsApp, which I hope the Termite team will be able to share with us today. Automating, Termite might show us automating SMS and WhatsApp, whereas the engaged guys can show us about automating email. Again, I didn't want to use examples that I've used because most of the tools that I use in the larger organizations are tools from outside of Nigeria, which maybe organizations may not be familiar with. But I'm glad that now as Nigerians and, you know, a lot of the tech accelerators have supported those who are building those tools, a lot of those B2B SaaS tools for us locally. So we have them here on a one-on-one to be able to engage with us, to be able to troubleshoot things that we're doing, okay? What is the process that you're going through? Because we're going to talk about this in a bit. Number one, once your customers are in, segment into buckets based on their lifestyle, like I mentioned earlier on, what their life cycle. There's lifestyle, which is the psychographics or demographics, and then there's also the life cycle, right? Now, life cycle being, is this person a new customer that has just purchased one product? Or is this person an existing customer that has been spending a lot with your company, right? They should not be receiving the same type of email. That's the reality. You should have a different type of communication apart from the general newsletter, but their process, your process of engagement with them should be completely different, right? Now, determine the triggers. What are the triggers that cause you to send any communication? Is it a new sign up? Is it non-usage? Is it confirmation of products delivered or that sort of thing? Every single thing has to be written out very, very clearly. And I'll tell you one of the reasons why, as a marketer, you must write it out clearly. Because if you don't, whenever the requirement comes up, whoever is at the back engine of the tool will write something, anything. And they're not marketers. They're not marketers. They're not communicators. They're not comms people like us. So what happens when people whose main job skill is not comms? What happens when they write? You guessed right. I'm not going to spell it out. What do they do at the back end? You're going to have all sorts of communication. I remember once I worked on a tool and I knew somebody was going to write. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I remember once that we left a junior technical developer, right, on his own recognizance for a while. And we didn't supply the content that's supposed to be written at every single push notification, every in-app, everything. And there was a point where maybe you're trying to do something on the app because there were so many things on the app. And I think it was actually the MD that sent me the screenshot later on to say, Buki, what on earth is this? He tried to do something, he clicked on something, and the message that comes up on the screen is, sorry, you can't do this. Sorry, you can't do this. That's not the proper wording. Only comms people should be in charge of anything to do with content. So please, if you get into any organization, take it away from whoever. Sorry, guys, they've just taken light and brought light, so you can see my face is back to bright, right? Number 3 part of the process, select the platform, create the content, but most especially your call to action. Marketers, I want to beg you, stop sending out emails for the sake of sending out emails. Like, I just click and delete, right? Let it have a purpose, but most especially let it have a call to action. I'm going to show you some examples, right? And of course, you have to create a drip, a journey. I'll also show you an example of that. And like I said, number 4, track, measure, optimize, repeat. If you see what's working, keep doing what's working. If something is not working, reiterate, rejig, and do it a different way. But at the beginning anyway, we always ask people, A/B test. Is anybody familiar with A/B testing? Somebody said, I just dragged my CTO yesterday for a web page. The copies on it were so mechanical. Exactly. You know something, right? The truth of the matter is, whoever that happened to, I will always still blame you. You know why? How did the technical people get into writing anything? You didn't supply it. It's you. You didn't supply it because it's your job. So remember, we talked about this slide. I'm hoping I can go back to it. This slide is your Bible as you get into any company, right? Go and cross-check all these things and make sure that they are in your purview. You own it, right? Number 1 thing that I always ask for when I get into any company, give my email address access to the App Store and the Play Store. I want to be seeing firsthand my installs and uninstalls on a daily basis. I'm breathing, what they call it, breathing and eating, install, uninstall, even though that's not a huge metric. But at any point, my MD will call me, even at 6 a.m. to say, Buki, how are we doing? How are we doing? You want to be ready with those numbers. You want to be ready because what is your job if you're not growing the customer base and growing money for the business, right? So let's try and move on fast. Call to actions. Think about all those boring email headlines, right? Why are we still doing boring emails in 2023, marketers? And why? Who wants to talk about why we're still doing it? Who? Anybody wants to say why their company? You may be involved in any company. Why are the emails still boring? Anybody want to share what's going on with those emails that we're receiving? Does anybody have any idea? Or can anybody tell me of a really exciting, a company that sends out really exciting and informative emails that you want to read? Anybody there?
I think I would like to share on the boring ones. I'm a little bit critical of it, so I think that's where I would like to come from. So I feel it's kind of multifaceted, because I think a lot of marketers are overworked. So they do a lot of things, and then at the end of the day, it becomes just ship it, just send something. It doesn't have to be spectacular, as long as it just goes out there. So a lot of them, because of the stress and all of that, they just settle on the basic, and then so that at least they can tick off that their to-do list, and then, okay, I've sent this email today, so I don't have to worry about that. So, and with with creative process, it takes time. You have to like spend some time on it to actually pick those words that are right for it. So I think that's one big factor that I think I've identified could be responsible for this.
Okay, I want to share some really good ones and some not so good ones, okay? But I want to also answer your question, right? You see that issue about overworking, right? This is the reason that we have interns on our team, okay? For me, as a marketer, as a senior manager, I'm going to tell you something that is my concern. After all the content, after everything, after all that said and done, mine is just to check your call to action, right? Are you sending my customer to the right place to take action on this thing that we're advertising to them? Let me show you. I'm going to share something now. PowerPoint slide. Okay, let's share this one. Okay, so I already prepared some good examples, right? No shade. I'm not shading any company here. Okay. Okay, let's look at some. Can everybody see the screen? Can everybody see this?
Yes, we can. Okay.
Okay, so let me put this here. Some good and then some not so. Okay, so yeah, right? You're the one that spoke about, no, apologies. Okay, so talking about overworked, you're right. We have more strategic things to deal with, but content should not be so cumbersome. It shouldn't be so long. It shouldn't be such a major project, right? Just get on, fulfill your deliverables that you've sent it, and get on with life, okay? So I want to share an example, like screenshot here to you. The one on the left, right, is from Squad. So I just cropped some parts of the email and put it out here. So one thing I'm going to judge, nice header, Squad, a thoughtful check-in, your well-being matters to us, right? Nice headline. But one thing I'm going to criticize inside this is, can you see where my first arrow is pointing, right? They took a creative that, if you look at it, this creative is a banner that should be on let's say a regular digital marketing ad. How do I know that? Because it says click to download. Now, if this thing is in an email inside and you're scrolling in the email and you've received it, trust me, right? My 40-something-year-old eyes are not that bad, but I still could not see this. What was meant to happen is two things. Either you create another ad that is adapted to the size of that place, or you just have a call to action button, okay? Same issue I have with this Wema Bank ad, okay? They sent an email talking about, they're trying to advertise that you can use your Naira card abroad, right? Telling you the places to shop. No problem, interesting email, right? But somewhere inside it, they're talking about what has happened in Big Brother Naija. They've taken a generic ad. Now, this advert is something I would expect to see on a billboard outside, but they've taken that, they've cropped it and put it inside this phone. The reality is that nobody's going to see it. So why would we just be sending out things without expecting an action from the customer? You're wasting valuable time. Then can I even tell you guys something, right? Do you know that we actually pay for these emails? They're not free like we think it is. Because for your enterprise solutions, right, you're paying per 1,000 or per mil or whatever, they call it, you understand? So why are you wasting one penny or half a penny or whatever, you understand? And sending out thousands and thousands and thousands of emails, and there's no, in other words, what I'm just saying is make sure that there's a flow, but make sure that there's a place inside each email for your customer to take action, okay? More examples, right? I've got this one on the left from Fidelity. This advert that you can see, the email is your loyalty reward is ready, okay? I want somebody to tell me this advert's on the left from Fidelity Bank. What is missing? Can anybody share with me what you think is missing from the ad?
Call to action.
Thank you. Call to action. But what kind of call to action? What kind of call to action is missing?
Definitely call to action for me to get my loyalty reward.
Okay. In other words, what is missing is sign up. Your loyalty reward is ready. Okay, where do I sign up? You understand? There's got to be something that you're telling me to do to get this, because I don't know what my loyalty reward is. I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea. So it just says that transact, earn, redeem your rewards. This again is another generic advert that should be on social media. It does not have a place for inside email. If email has to be specifically designed for that purpose. So one of the things I noticed that they also did, which I find interesting, is that there's a QR code that you're meant to scan, right? If you want to give me a QR code, guys, make sure that it's something somewhere that my phone can scan it. But you put it inside the email that I'm reading inside my phone. So I hope you understand the error there. Number two, let's use Bamboo. Somebody said that they haven't opened their Bamboo email for a while. Somebody in the chat. But you know what's interesting? Neither have I. I haven't opened my Bamboo emails. I haven't opened my Bamboo app for a long time. Check this out. I now received this email that says, here's how to make a deposit on Bamboo. You know why? Whoever that marketer is in Bamboo knows that you probably don't know what you're to do. That's why you haven't taken any action. So I've installed the app, fine. I've registered, but then they noticed that I haven't taken up the next step. So what do? They send me a useful communication to tell me about that next step. So I just cropped the email here, but as you can see from the text below is how to make a deposit into your Bamboo account. The email actually detailed, number one, do this, number two, do this, number three, do that. I was quite impressed, right? So whoever is behind that Bamboo, they're thinking. And to be fair, this is one of the things I'm seeing that the fintechs are doing very, very well, because the fintechs are hiring people like you guys. So I'm really hoping that from here, you understand, somebody gets some ideas, some strategies that they can now go and use in their new fintech job, because I'm telling you, these guys really need you. Tech marketers are needed like never before today in a lot of the new tech companies, especially the fintechs. So going on with Bamboo, they were very clear. Next thing you do there, you can see a call to action button saying learn more. Make it very easy for me to take action after I've received an email from you. Number three, I'm using Preply here as an example. I cropped a lot here, right? But interesting, this Preply is an online tutor directory for those of us that want to learn anything. If you want to learn data analytics from somebody abroad, or you want to learn German, you go onto Preply and you find the German tutor, right? So the gist is there, but every single break, every single, after every paragraph or after every story or after every gist, the call to action button they have is find my tutor. I love it. Very straight to the point, very direct. It's like, hey, we're telling you this, take action. Hey, we're telling you this, take action. Hey, we're telling, very straight to the point. I love that about them. Which other example do I have? Now, whilst I love the emails that I get from this particular company, right, I decided to test something. This is the mistake, one mistake that they made. They sent me an email, registered to attend their conference, right? And, but one of the things that I find that they did wrong, I decided to test it out. I clicked on the creative, right? Because they didn't have any call to action button, just this creative that you see here, the conference 1.0, that's all that was in it, right? But I clicked on it and it takes me to the App Store, which is a break in transmission because it's supposed to take me to a web page that you have designed specifically to just register for that conference. So like, for example, this particular one, you guys went to, I think is it Lumi or Loom page to just put your name and your email. Very straightforward, very direct. But I was surprised that when I clicked on this creative, it takes me to the App Store to download an app for an event I just didn't understand. And for me, if that's the process that you're going through, you have lost me already. But let me give you some good ones that I love. You okay? Number one, Kate Spade. I think I bought something online or I subscribed to something or whatever. So I love that the email they sent me actually looks exactly like their webpage, So it's so funny how I got, this email is designed like as if you're on the website. So you can go and click into these areas that you see here, click and you go to new products, click and you go to handbags, click and you go to clothing. Brilliant, I love it. Or even after the thank you, right at the bottom, and you read the message that they've sent you, there's actually a shop now. So if you don't want to go to all those things at the top, you go directly to their website from shop now, very straight to the point. Again, Klaviyo, when I signed up for Klaviyo, I love this email that they sent me. Look, it's so simple. It doesn't have any long story, doesn't have anything. Let's get you started with Klaviyo, right? Or I think this was when I did a verification or something because their call to action button, create an account. So one of the things that you guys can do for yourselves when you enter a company is create templates. Do you know that if you created templates, then it will make it easier for the interns, the junior staff, or anybody to just be firing up content? Because all you need to do is to be plugging the content between each of those call to action buttons or between each header. Look, I worked in a company before that we had about 25 headers. So can you see this header here for Klaviyo and this header here for Bumble, right? I worked in a company that we had 25 headers. So the people behind the tool at any point can just pick a happy birthday header, anniversary header, welcome to our company header, whatever. We just, the marketing team, we just created lots of it, kept it with them. Whenever you want to use them, just, you understand. Then every year they'll just say, our headers are a bit boring. Can you do something fantastic again? We'll just create a whole bunch of different headers again that they store in their system and they can pick and choose. I love this Bumble one. What do I like about it, right? You've just signed up, right? And there's a lot of things on their app. So what do? The welcome message that they send to you actually tells you all the things you can do on their app, but very straight to the point. Photo verification, video chat and voice calls, private detector, lock and report, incognito mode, unmatching, snooze mode. Somebody sent me that when we're building our own dating app, and she said, oh wow, look at what your competition is doing, that you should really see this. And I love what their communication looks like from beginning to the end. So that's that. If it was on the app, it will actually look something like this, right? That's what you can do on the app. If I sign up on an app, this is what I would expect as somebody who is experienced, right? You give me a quick walkthrough of what to find, where to find it on the app. So to give you an example, this is what the phone would look something like this. Obviously, this is a phone, right? You should be able to show me with an arrow, right? That click up here to get this, click up here to do this, down here to do this, that way to do that, right? This page you're looking at is something that I actually designed for one of our own apps, right? Before I engage a product designer for any one of the apps, you can be rest assured I've written out 90-something% of the communication. Everything is set one by one. So you're just cutting and pasting, cutting and pasting, cutting and pasting. I don't want a product designer or a developer to ever have to write in their own English anything inside my app for me. I've written it all. It's all one by one. So you're picking it to put in your Figma. So again, another one of the tools that you guys can actually learn how to do is wireframing, because you need to be able to tell your product designer, your product team, where and how you want your buttons and stuff. But if you're sticking to pure comms, pure marketing, you need to be able to write out clearly everything in the best of English, because at the end of the day, trust me, you are the phone number that your MD is going to call when he sees one grammatical error or one punctuation that is wrong in one place. They're never going to look at the developers. It's you. Why I still can't forget that app that the MD logged in and it says, sorry, you can't do that. It's like the communication that was left to that junior developer was so aggressive. You're trying to log in somewhere and the message just says, no, you can't. You know, that's not how I would write as a marketer. So you have to supply all the information, right? This particular one that I'm trying to show you, this is what it looks like on a web page, right? I signed up to Twilio, right? And it shows me step 1, you can do this. Step 2 of 6, you can view your logs and insights in a dedicated area. Step 3 of 6, step 4 of 6, it takes me through. So what happens when it's showing you what to do on the app? It's sort of, what's the word? It puts a film over the actual web app or the web page so that you can't actually click on those things in the meantime where it's highlighting for you. All this is what you use your apps to do. It's not going to be built into the website from scratch. You need an app to be plugged in using an API, a RESting API plugged in to be able to achieve this on your app. Let me pause here for any questions on everything I've said so far. Any question? I need questions, guys. Are we there? Ask me anything.
My guys, if you want to ask a question, just raise your hand. Or drop it in the chat box.
Oh, where you go ahead, please. Go ahead.
All right. This isn't much of a question actually, but I'm hoping that it's kind of like provides an avenue for us to explore some horizontal, like what you've been saying about, especially about the customer journey and the marketing funnel. I've read somewhere that, and I think it applies in a real sense, that the marketing journey is not straightforward. So you do not have people go through the awareness and all through the loyalty stage like that. So in some instances, they get to leave, come back in, leave, come back in, and all of that. So what frameworks would you suggest to, because that could be a lot of chaos, you know, when you have people leaving and coming back in, because you would, I mean, the system is better when it's like kind of like in sequence and all of that. Yeah. So what frameworks would you suggest to help marketers, you know, so that they don't lose their minds trying to like track who is leaving, who is coming in, where is this person right now at that point of the journey and all of that?
Fantastic, fantastic. You've asked a very valuable question where I've already got a page to explain the answer. Right. Is everybody sitting carefully, right? Now, I want you to really get this very, very well, okay? So I'm going to take it slowly, one by one. Remember what I said about you have to write out everything. You have to plan every scenario. This is your job as a marketer. A lot of us, or a lot of marketers, are failing in their jobs because they didn't know this beforehand. Remember that slide where I said you get into a new job? Those eight things is the most critical things you have to ensure. Now, this slide here, right, talking about a sample journey, is the next part that your life depends on it. Your life in that company depends on it, okay? So it's called creating a comms journey. You're going to expect that when a person starts their journey with you, or install or buy one product, or they filled a data capture, they've become a customer, that's their day one. So you're going to plan for every single place that you're going to talk to this person and every single trigger that is going to cause communication with this person, and then what to do when this person is considering leaving you, and what to do when this person leaves you, right? So every communication from the time I enter into your bucket, right, till I consider leaving, until I maybe eventually leave or not, is in your hands. So let's go through this flow that I created, this sample flow. Now, day one, welcome series, right? this customer is active, obviously, because they've just come into your company. So in that day one, I can expect to get one or two things from you, either a verification email or a welcome email. Now, when I say verification, it means there's something, your product is a little bit more technical, right? So I have to confirm my email or confirm my phone number, one of the two. I hope we're all familiar with two-factor authentication and confirmation emails, right? So I register on your app, you're going to send me an email, and then I have to go to my email inbox and click confirm email and then come back. So I'm going to expect that email comes from the system. It's not your comms email. It's not the email that Oweye is going to own from now on. That's a different journey. Now, that confirmation was with the developers. That's something you've given to them. That's automatic. It comes from the email in the system. Usually, I think they have their either Qualtrics or Firebase or whatever, however they've set it with the company. Now, the comms that you are doing, which is an API plugged in from Engage, any company that you're using, or Netcore, for example, is different. That's where the first one you're sending is the welcome. So welcome Oweye, thank you for signing up, blah, 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 right? Now, product walkthrough. Before day 7, you must send a product walkthrough. The one I showed you from Bumble, remember, right? It is to talk about the features. We are all assuming a lot, right? We're assuming that our customers actually really know everything about our app, but the reality is that it's only because they've used a similar app that we're getting to the place of comfort. I've never used yours before, so you still have to tell me where to pay my bills, where to transfer dollars, where to view my transactions, where to print my statements. You need to tell me. A lot of banks are guilty of this. You're just assuming I know how to use your banking app. I don't. There's a certain company that just relaunched their app last week, or 2 weeks ago, that sent everybody into chaos because they couldn't log in. They are told all of us, they sent emails and told all of us that they're going to, we're going to be switched to a new app. The communication was so poor. I cannot tell you enough, right? They came out to be saying, sorry, we know you're all having problems. No, mate. How about you just fix that and then tell me how to use your new app? Don't assume that I'm going to go inside there and say, okay, this is where to transfer. Okay, this is it. No, don't make assumptions, right? That's number 2. I've talked about, the product walkthrough. Now, specific features. A few days after that, or a while after that, and by the way, guys, you see this my day 1 to 90. Please, please, please. That's just from my point of view. That's a general. You will decide what looks like a journey in your organization based on history, based on historical activities from your customers, right? My day 22 looks like this. This person has signed up to be paying bills, but this one has signed up to be transferring money, okay? I'm going to be sending a paying bills email to this bucket, whereas I'm going to be sending a transferring money to this bucket. Guys, this stuff is very technical and very strategic. It's going to be very up to you to put this in your head and then be sure that when you get into a new organization, you remember it and say, you know what? It's even a thankless job, because at the end of the day, nobody's going to come and pat you on the back and say, okay, you've written this. What they just want to know at the end of the day, I'm sorry to say, after all this, is that have we increased our numbers and have we increased the spend from these customers? This part of the job is thankless. Nobody is going to pat you on the back and say, wow, look at these beautiful comms that you wrote. No, sorry to inform you. It just makes your work easier. Day 30 is when we get to critical issue. What happens in day 30? Any banking app, right? Can anybody tell me what happens between day 24 and day 30 of anybody who uses a banking app? Anybody want to guess what I expect from you if you sign up to my banking app between day 24 and day 30, or 24th of the month and 30th of the month? Tell me. Khalif, are you there?
Make transfers.
Thank you. Make transfers. Not just make transfers. Tell me more. Apart from make transfer, okay, I'm going to send money.
Savings.
People get inflow during that period.
Yes. Inflow means you use it to make transfer, but not just that. Pay bills. And we all know that from a banking app, we know how much money we're making from those paying bills. I think there's one that I pay. Is it DSTV? They make 100 naira every time I pay DSTV. Am I correct? I think when I make transfers, they make 25 naira off my transfers. What else do they make money off? Somebody help me out. How are the banks making money from us? What other transaction do you do that they get money?
SMS
I think
charges.
when you buy, well, those SMS charges are incidental, technically, they're incidental. I'm talking about you taking an action on the app. So if I transfer money to you, they make 25 naira. If I pay, there's some bills that I paid and they make 50 naira or 100 naira. I've forgotten those bills. The only one I can remember.
Electricity bill.
Electricity.
Thank you for that. They make 100 naira. So as a marketer, it's your job to ensure that this person's money that is sitting in my account, this salary that came in, I don't want Jimo to transfer his salary, 100% of it, to Maris. I want him to spend some time paying NEPA bill, DSTV bill, buying data and all that because of the 25 naira that I'm making per time. I hope you all understand. This is so critical. Now, to answer Owaye's question about how do we go about all this, right? I think it was Owaye Williams that asked it, yeah? Pay attention. Every plan that you do from day 30 to day 60 will save or make your job, right? And I can promise you that I still have not found a company that is doing it correctly. If you can get this strategy on lockdown, right, you are on your way to becoming the next generation of CMOs. Look at this day 30, day 24 to, in fact, before day 24, what communication are you sending on day 21 to lock in that money that they're getting in on day 25 or day 26? That is so critical. I'm telling you, if you get that communication right on the 21st of the month, your MD will call you to say, my God, well done. You're an addition to this team and we're so happy to have you here. That's number one. Now, number two, what happens to the people who within day 21 to day 30, you go back into the Play Store, you go back into your Qualtrics, into your Mixed Panel, into your whatever, they didn't open the app, you're in trouble. It's like you sent out this email, maybe 10% of the people clicked, maybe 10%, another 10% of those who clicked, which is a small number, by the way, you understand? The actual statistics is 12% average open rate. It's very sad. So only this percentage clicked and went and took an action, right? What do you do with the people that didn't take an action? I want someone to help me out. Give me an idea.
I think an offer like a discount or something will be helpful to give them incentive or motivate them to take action. I think.
Okay, so for this one, I don't have a right or wrong answer. You know why? Because it's different for every organization. But I like your answer, but I'm going to shift your answer to day 90. Why would I shift it to day 90? Right? Or why? Let me tell you. Because I haven't yet confirmed whether I've lost you. So I don't want to be offering you anything if there's still the potential, right, that you can take an action and I can make money from you. Remember that I'm probably going to make like 25 naira. Your 25 naira times 500,000 customers is really something. Tokes, let's hear from you. Tokes, Larry.
All right, so I think at this point, you might want to begin to find out what their blockers are and try to cushion that effect in your communication at this point.
Thank you. I love that answer, right? Thank you, Tokes. So one of the ways to find out, right? I noticed that there's one bank that does this very, very well. If you as a marketer have sent out, let's say we have 100 customers, you sent out communication, 15 customers have taken action. What do I do with those 85 customers? I hand them over to customer care or customer success, right? To start to have a conversation. There's an organization that I worked with, right? That we did something that was so cool. When we were onboarding customers and we noticed that there's a high percentage of in-store, the gap between the acquisition rates and in-store was so high. What I mean by that is that for every 100 customers that were downloading the app, only about 10 were going on to fully register. What's going on? So we got the developers to write a code, right, that tells us who exactly, because remember that you've already put your email and your phone number at the very beginning. We verified that. But people are not going on to complete their profile and to start to transact. So we did something where an email is triggered to customer care, customer service. I know a couple of banks that are doing that now. Next thing, you're going to get a phone call. You get a phone call. Talks will get a phone call from customer care saying, "Hi, Tokes, we noticed that you registered on our app. Are you having any difficulties completing? Are you having any challenges?" Trust me, that phone call goes a long way. So if you're a small fintech, I would recommend this as your strategy between day 30 to day 60. Why? We don't want to get to day 90 and this product has not stuck with this customer. So the answer from Oweye, where you do an offer and whatever, that's later on. I still have a chance to fix their problem. I need to investigate what is going on. So you can either, now if we're in day 30, right? For us in banking, anybody that didn't launch their app in 30 days, and I don't mean new customers, you're a new customer, that's different, you're day 1 to 30. But if you have been an existing customer and there's any 30 days where you didn't open the app, right? You are considered an inactive customer. Why? Everybody sends money. Everybody pays bills. So what's going on? I mean, in one day, I might pay like 5 people, even if it's 5K, 2K, whatever. But in one day, you are transferring. In 1 week, you are transferring. In 1 month, you're paying at least 5 bills. So if you don't launch the app in 30 days, this is a critical situation. So what happens is that customers must keep dropping into that bucket of inactive. So you can look down here. Can you see from day 30, the inactive is at the bottom where I said, inactive day 30, inactive day 60, inactive day 90. There's a whole complete set of communication going to somebody that their name has dropped into that bucket. But if you're active, and that's above the line, above that line over there, active, the set of communication going to you, newsletter, upsell, cross-sell, referral, loyalty program is a completely different journey. So to answer Oweye's initial question, I hope I'm getting there now. You see this day 22 is where you break off to 2 different types of customers. Now, if you're, please pay attention very, very, very critically to what I'm about to say, right? We now have 2 different buckets, okay? The inactive customer bucket or the active customer bucket. But guess what? This is where I hope the engaged guys are available. They're going to show us, right, how to, inside their tool. And the reason I chose engage because the workings of the tool looks similar to, most of the other ones I've used. So if you know how to use engage, you'll be able to use some of the others because it's a drag and drop method. But please pay attention. A customer is inside the inactive bucket. Another customer is inside the active bucket. There's a trigger that moves this guy into this bucket. There's also a trigger that moves this guy into this bucket. Let me repeat the question or the statement. If a set of customers are sitting in this bucket, this is why we use automation tools. A set of customers are sitting inside inactive buckets. A set of customers are sitting inside the active bucket. What is the trigger that moves the inactive guy into active? What is the trigger that moves the active guy into the inactive? I need someone to answer any one of these 2 questions so that I know that we're all understanding. Anybody? Me, Ajewale, please go ahead.
I believe that if the user experience continue to frustrate a user, even though they are active, they might move from the active to the inactive bucket. And if a user is already inactive, if there is maybe a new product engagement, something like an incentive, or as simple as communication of we notice you've been inactive. Is this something we do? Okay, talk to us. Could make them move from being inactive to maybe the active bucket, at least share their perspective of why they became inactive, and we can glean 1 or 2 information from them.
Okay, I love your answer. You've given me a reason, right? You've given me a reason, but you didn't tell me the action, the trigger. Can Oweye give us a try? Oweye.
Okay, Yeah, I'm glad you said the trial. So since since we've already established that using the specific example of a banking app, so that if you do not use it for like 30 days, you do not use it to pay bills, do not use it, you do not make any transaction on the app. So that means after 30 days you are inactive. So then if you begin to use it again, then that means you become active.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I love that answer, right? Now, the reason I wanted us to answer it is so that you know that you have taken the manual effort out of it, right? Back in the regular traditional marketing days, we'll start to open up an Excel sheet and cut and paste a bunch of customer data to say, I'm going to send email to these people. No. Your marketing automation tool does that for you. So don't fret, don't panic, right? If you have set the right triggers in place, right? Feromi's name will drop into that bucket of inactive in day 31. So now maybe there becomes 1,000 customers in that bucket. Then Tox's name continues to stay in the active. But the moment there's a 30-day period that she hasn't opened the app at all, her name drops into this inactive bucket. Now, Feromi that was there, let's say it could be there for day 1, day 5, day 7, day 22. The moment Feromi opens the app and does a transaction, his name moves into this bucket. That is how marketing automation works. So your job at the beginning of all this process was to have had the communication set. Everything is set. So regardless of which bucket this person is in, at the time when that email is due to go out or that push notification is due to go out, the person gets the right communication because they are currently in that bucket. I hope everything is clear about how I've explained all this. So it's an ongoing process, but you need to have set your communication. If this customer is a regular user of NEPA bills and whatever, right? Your CRM will take care of that, your CRM tool, but you need to set the right parameters. This person, you can cluster it into 2 different emails for active customers, right? I'm talking of day 60 now. Look at where I wrote day 60, upsell and cross-sell. If this person is active, right, the kind of email they'll get is you could break it down into 2, right? If it's a high caliber customer that there's 5 million, 10 million balance always, available in this person's account, there's a certain type of email that you've written for those kind of customers. But the moment he drops into a customer that the average balance is always 100,000, he has entered into another bucket, there's a different set of email for that. It may seem a little bit complicated, but guys, I want to really beg you that once you are on any of these tools, that you really start to familiarize yourself. This, let me tell you how critical this is. There's not many people that know this at all. It's such a sought after skill when you get into any organization. If you get into any organization as their social media manager, content manager, whatever, once you can prove that you're the person that technically knows this process, right? Email automation, marketing automation, push notification, you are such a valuable asset that they will think twice, 3 times, 4 times before ever letting you go, even to another department or whatever. You can command whatever it is that you want in that organization once you know this process. Is everybody clear on this? We're running low on time, so I want to quickly move on so that we can start our case study. Does anybody have any questions, any comments, anything on what I've said? Owe, please go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much. I guess I'm very active on this particular session because it's something I'm currently doing, and yeah, it's very vivid for me. So this is what I want to ask. The thing is, it takes a level of foresight and strategic planning to execute this perfectly. So now, in cases where perhaps you did not think it through, perhaps a journey or a process, and then the thing is already happening, then you felt maybe you missed a step or you missed a kind of trigger along the way. So what are the strategies you can fall back on and then use to retrace your step and manage things?
Okay, I love that. So can you see the slide? Can you see the slide that we've got on the screen now? Inside view of engage. I hope Jimo is going to be here shortly when you guys come back from the breakout session. Right, we really need to move on time. So once you set your communication, right, all the different types of messages that you want to send out regularly are there, right? You go into your tool. Now, the trigger that you set, if we look at the first part of the flow, right, the trigger that we have set can be when customer is inactive for customer leaves the segment. There's join segment. Join segment means they become maybe active in a particular segment. Now, maybe another trigger is customer leaves segment. Now, in your organization, you now realize that this person's behavior that they want to leave a complaint is not 30 days like we said. It's not 26 days like they said. So this particular product, if they don't open their app in 14 days, right, then that means they want to leave. So you see that part, the next group that we said control. You change your control from 30 days to 14 days. That's why we have automation. You can change and chop anything. So you change your control, although the example here says delay 5 minutes. I'll change it from they enter the segment and you send your message within a certain time, you send an email. But if else, then you send another message. So what it just takes is, once you've decided that with your team, once you've decided that with management, right? And this is why I do a lot of A/B testing. If this particular email is not getting the action that we want them to take, then just come back and change your triggers, control, and your action every single time. But whatever your tool your organization is using, please, I beg you in the name of God, become an expert in that tool. To give you a little scenario, Tolu knows that I've been a mentor on Tech Marketers Hub. Will you believe that the mentee that I had, right, he's already getting jobs on Upwork as a Klaviyo expert. Now that's a totally different tool on its own. So you could come out of this, and go in and practice and become the engage.so expert, or somebody could be a MailChimp expert, somebody could be a Netcore expert. There's a guy that I know, right, that he's a Braze expert in this Nigeria, and he gets called into organizations whereby their team is not using Braze properly. So all he does is that every single time they call him to come and troubleshoot something, we don't know how to set these triggers, we don't know how to set this if else and this, that, he gets paid, right? I mean, I chat with him regularly and all that, and I'm just amazed. It was actually the organization, because I was going in to train them for something else. They now linked me up with him and said, oh, this is the guy that trains them. I'm like, wow, So you need to be an expert on the tool that your organization uses. I think that's the perfect answer to that, because at any point, you need to be able to go in to change the delays, the triggers, the if else. Are we good? So your case study, we're going to go into the case study, but I'm sorry, I'm going to give you a shorter time because we must finish by 1, which means you're only going to get about 30 minutes. Tolu, is that okay if they do only 30 minutes on their case study? And I'll tell you why you can have a shorter time on it. Okay. So why you can get a shorter time on the case study? Let me tell you what we're going to be judging, right, in your group work, right? I've already given you the segments, right, of the customer, the type of customer where they are, right? But you tell me what platform you're going to use to communicate. Is it SMS? Is it email? Is it push notification? Or is it in-app? SMS, email, or in-app? Now, what is the trigger that's going to cause you to send communication out to that customer? Okay. Number 3, create the content and the call to action. Please, we're not looking for anything elaborate here, right? I'm just going to ask you these 4 questions when you come back. And then your content, just give me a summary of what your content is. What are you telling them about? What type of product? It doesn't have to be fancy. I think somebody asked earlier on that, marketers get very stressed and all that, and they don't have time for these things. It's because we're trying to do too much. Just honestly, I don't need anything. If I'm your customer, I don't need anything more than just tell me that this product is there. Save with us and you get 5%. I don't need your, hey, how you doing? It's been very wintry in Nigeria, hasn't it? And Buhari is no longer the president. I don't want to be hearing all that. The reason I signed up with you is because I want to use your app. So just tell me, you can now get this on an app and I hope you have a nice day. Do you know? That's sometimes just simplify it. And then just tell me where to take the necessary action. And then obviously also tell me what you are tracking. What is success to you? I really want to be, to ask you that at the end. So case studies, real quick. Group 1, can everybody still see my screen? When Tolu calls your name and you're in group 1, your product is a dating app. Most of your customers are in their 20s. 80% of your customers are in Nigeria, 20% are global. I want you to tell me what platform you're going to use to communicate, what triggers, what actions you want them to take, what call to action, and what you're measuring, okay? If Tolu calls your name and you're in group 2, you are an insurance company. Average age of customers is age 45, and you have branches nationwide. Give me some triggers, give me some calls to the content, calls to action, and what you're measuring. Number 3, you are a vocational school for adults. The average age is 35. The average age of your customer, sorry. Largest branch is in the Southeast, but several franchises are in the South. Has everybody gotten this page so I can move to next page? Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
We can.
Okay. So if you hear your name and you are group 4, you are a traditional bank, my favorite. Traditional bank, average customer age is age 50. Majority of your customers are in the Southwest, okay? Do you have any specific segments? Remember, I'll go back to that slide in a bit. Segments. What triggers will cause you to send an email, okay? And what will be your content, your call to action, and what are you measuring? Number 5, an Islamic bank. Average customer age is 40, regionally located in the northeast of Nigeria. What platforms are you using? What triggers will cause you to send the communication? What will be your content? What will be your call to action? And number 6, a fintech app. Average customer age 30, customers all over Nigeria, but concentrated in South. If you hear your name, your group, that's where you are. We'll still go through it. I think, Tolu, over to you to quickly break us into groups.
All right. So I'm going to open breakout. I'm going to use breakout feature on Zoom, so you get an automatic this thing add into your room. But in the meantime, I'll also send a picture to the general chat here so that you can see everything and you know which breakout room you belong to. So just give me a second, please.
Oops.
All right. All right, everyone should have gotten an invite to join.
Okay, so I'll read out what I can see on my screen, okay, to make it easy for everyone. Group 1, you are the dating app, okay? Amuda, Omolola, Amuda, Anita, okay, that's just Amuda and Anita and Oluchi and Oweye, you are room 1. Huh? Are we correct? And that's the dating app, okay? Room 2, that is the insurance company. Eniola, Babajide, Esther, Khalif, Ochua. Sorry, I know I'm mispronouncing it. So sorry, Ochua. That's room 2. Room 3, a vocational school for adults. Dikpo and K. Dikpo, K, and Omotayo. That's group 3, room 3. Dikpo, K, and Omotayo. A vocational school for adults. Average age is 35. Number 4. Room 4 is Feromi, Jimo, and Wando. You are a traditional bank. Your average age is 50, and majority are in the Southwest. Room 5, Ogenerukewe and Toxlari. You are the Islamic bank. Average customer age is 40. You're regionally located in the Northeast. And room 6, Kalim, Maris, and OG Oluigbo. You're a fintech app. Customer age is 30. Is everybody gone?
Yeah, most are gone. I think the only other people here and people who have not joined, Laxi, you have not joined, you room 1. Oluchi, room 1, you haven't joined either. Please go ahead.
Sorry, I joined and I discovered that nobody was there. So I had to get back here.
Okay,
so I think I must have missed some information. Okay, so how do I get back
Okay, give me
to the...
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Felicia just came in. Oluchi.
Sorry, am I in group 1 or group 3? Which one of them am I? Group 3,
Group
Abby?
1. You should see an invite for group 1 now. Have you seen that? Okay. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oluchi is good. Okay. Let's see. Who else? Babajide, we're still here. Babajide, you've not joined room 2. Buki, please confirm if you can join any of the rooms.
Okay, I'm even trying to, 1 second. There's something on my screen I'm trying to get rid of. I don't know how I did that.
Okay, okay. Everyone's complete. We're still not here. Faishayo. Okay. Faisha, I've assigned you to room 4. I'm sure you've gotten an invite. Please join.
So they have the, do they have the screenshot that says what their case study is?
No, I'm sending that now.
Okay.
Please, can you share your screen for case study 456? I could only get one.
Slack channel.
Okay. Kindly do.
Everyone, welcome back, everyone. And we're going to have to change the format a little bit slightly because Aaron, who has gladly so graciously agreed to be here from the Engage team, he has to run. So before we look into what we've done in our case studies, let Aaron just quickly take us through his platform for about 10 minutes, right? I just want him to show us where to create campaigns and automations. Over to you, Aaron.
Okay, thank you, Buki. Hi, guys. Yeah, thank you for having me. So let me just run you guys through Engage very quickly. As you can see on my screen, this is my dashboard. So a couple of things, right? You know, when Buki was talking about tracking your customer data, we allow you to do that on Engage. We also allow you to create unique customer segments. That is, you can put your customers into different buckets depending on how they use your product. If you can see my screen, you see some segments that we created here, a segment for inactive customers, a segment for customers that have abandoned carts, etc. You can do this based on the customer data you are already tracking. Before I go into automations, I'd like to also mention that Engage has integrations with different tools. So we have integrations with email service providers like Mailgun, Amazon ACS, Spark Post, and SendGrid. For SMS, we have integrations with Twilio, Termite, Polar Tags, and Africa is Talking. Many of our African and Nigerian clients use Termite. All they just have to do is connect their Termite account to Engage. For push notifications, we have integrations with Firebase, OneSignal, and Expo. For tracking customer data, we have integrations with Segment, Make, Rudderstack, Postdoc, Thinkific, Amazon History, Zapier. We also have integrations with Facebook, whereby when you create a segment on Engage, you can send your customer data to Facebook as a custom audience, which is very useful for retargeting campaigns. We also have integrations with Stripe and Paystack so that you can track your customer billing data and then use that to power your campaigns. Our integration with Flutterwave is coming up very, very soon. So just to quickly touch on automations, you can use your automations on Engage to build any kind of messaging campaign, whether it's an onboarding campaign, retention campaign, renewal campaign, etc. So for this example, I'll just show you just very, very briefly. Let's work on creating an onboarding campaign together. So I click on create new automation. Then I give the automation a title. I can call this onboarding campaign. Then if you remember when Buki was talking about adding a call to action in your email, right? It's very important to do this because in most cases, when you are creating an automation, you need to know what is the point of conversion. So Engage allows you to do that. Engage allows you to set what we call a conversion goal, so that for this automation or campaign you are creating, you need to be sure that, okay, at what point do you define whether or not the user who joined this automation has met a specific goal? So I can set a goal for this, my automation, right? My goal can be that I want the customers to make payments via Paystack. So I can select that billing data, right? I want the customer to be charged successfully. So these customers who are on this automation, once they are charged successfully, that will count as a goal that has been met for this automation I'm creating. If I'm moving too fast, don't worry, I'm a member of the Tech Marketers Hub, so we can always have another session with Buki where I take my time and show you guys one by one, but I'm just trying to be fast. So you can add a description if you want to. I can put in conditions, like I say, I want this automation to run once per customer. That is, once a customer goes through the automation once, they cannot join in again. I can still say I want customers who have left the automations to re-enter again. It all depends on the kind of automation you are building, right? Then I can select this, that once this goal is met, the customer should exit the automation. So once I'm done with this, I click on next. So first things first, you need to select a trigger. There are different kinds of triggers on Engage, right? We have customer added to Engage trigger. This is useful for when a customer is added to your customer list. We have what we call the event is triggered when a customer takes a specific action, right? So event on Engage means it's the same thing as actions, customer actions, right? Those specific things that the customer does when using your product along the customer journey. Then we have what we call the date attribute trigger. So this is very useful for products that deal with timing, right? For example, let's say people have to book an appointment, maybe the birthdays of your customer. You can use this date attribute trigger to send them messages when that specific date is reached. We have what we call message status. I can create the trigger based on when the customer maybe opens an email, clicks on a link, etc. For this example, I'm going to use this trigger customer joins segment, right? Then I select the segment that I want to use as a trigger. So I can select inactive customers, right? So what it says is that every customer, right, who is an inactive customer, who is in this segment, will automatically be added to this automation that I'm building. Then we have what we call here called back populate. So what this does is that in most cases, right, when companies jump on Engage, we have found out that in most cases, before they even built an automation, they have customers who have taken specific actions before, but they have not been communicated with. So when you select this back populate, it picks up previous customers who you have not had any form of communication with and still adds them to the automation. So once I'm done with this, I click on save. So now I've set up the trigger for this automation, then we can start building it. But before we even start building your automation, just like Buki also mentioned, it's important for you to, map out your automation beforehand. If you can see my screen, right, this is a tool I use to map out an automation. So I use draw.io. This is what I did for a client, right? So it's important for you to map out your automation. If you remember, Buki mentioned this, right? It's important for you to map it out beforehand so that you know exactly how many emails am I writing, how many SMSs am I preparing, right? At what point? So this makes it easy for you to build your automation because you've mapped it out already. You're not just waking up and doing it from your head, right? So I've created the trigger. What do I want to do? I want to delay this automation for 5 minutes. So we have what we call actions and controls. actions are the messages and specific actions you want the automation to do. Then control are specific controls that you use to define the direction with which the automation goes. So if I select delay, delay puts a specific time period when I want the automation to be delayed. It can be in hours, it can be in minutes, it can be in days. So I want to delay this for 3 minutes, right? Then if I add another step, I can send an email. If I select email, I simply put in the subject of the email, right? I put in my name. I put in my email address. Then you can select, yes, you want to track clicks. This is important because remember, we're talking about adding call to actions to your emails. And for customers to take the call to action, they have to click. So when you enable this track clicks, it keeps track of whether or not a customer clicks on a link in your email. Then if you select this enable unsubscribe, it allows customers to unsubscribe from your automation. So when I select update email content, we have 3 types of email editors. We have the plain text editor, we have a drag and drop editor, we have a custom HTML editor. Any of them is good to go. But for this example, because of time, I'll just select the drag and drop. I select the template, right? See where the call to action is. You can, if I select on the button, I can add a link, right? So let me just put this. Right? You can customize this as much as you want. So when you're done with this, you can preview. You can see how your email looks like on PC and mobile. It's very important because, just like how engineers do UI UX, it's also important for marketers too to also do UI UX for your content. So you need to be sure that, your email looks good on mobile just as it looks good on PC, because in most cases, that's the mistakes some of us make. We do stuff on our PC and forget that most of our customers are on their mobile phones. So I click on close preview. When I'm done with this, I click on done editing, right? And I click on save. I can also send an SMS. I select send SMS. Now, when you want to send SMS, you select the gateway. Remember, I told you we have integrations with Hola Tax, Temai, Twilio, and Africa is talking. So I can select my gateway Temai, select the channel. It can be DND or generic. I put in my sender ID, and then I put in my message. I can also customize this. We have personalization tags that you can use to customize your SMS or engage.
Sorry, can I say something funny? Only
Yes,
those who understand SQL will understand what you just did in that those first 2 brackets. That's an SQL tactic.
Yeah, because it's on the database. So you're just picking it, it's just like how engineers do their API calls, right? So you use this personalization tags to call it. Can be first name, it can be last name, it can be phone number, it can be customer ID, can be anything. So I will share with Buki a link to our documentation. You can read further on that there. Then we also allow you to track clicks in your SMS also. You can also preview this. You can see how it looks like, right? And when I'm done, you can also send a test. You can send a test SMS to yourself. So if I click on send test, I simply put in my phone number, and then you can see how the SMS would look like. Yeah, so this is things that you can go and engage. So when I'm done with this, I click on save. It goes on and on. So at this stage, let me use another control. In some cases, we are doing on automation. Remember, we set a conversion goal. We want these customers to make payments. But at different stages of the campaign, you need to be sure that these people who are receiving your messages, whether it's an email, SMS, push notification, or in-app message, you need to be sure that they are actually taking action. So what do we use to confirm that? We use what we call the if or else control to confirm whether or not at that particular stage in the automation, the customer has taken the action we want them to take. Remember, the goal we set up for this campaign was that we wanted customers to make payments via Paystack. So I'm going to select that as the condition. I click on update. So what this says is that the customer joined the segment. After 3 minutes, we send them an email, we send them an SMS. And then after sending them this SMS, we'll now check at this stage, has the customer made payment via Paystack? If yes, do this. If no, do this. So I can say if yes, then you can exit. Good and fine. You've met, you've accomplished the goal. If no, I continue sending you messages. I can delay the automation for maybe for a day, right? I can delay it for a day, right? Delay it for a day, and then I continue building it and building it and building it and building it. So the beautiful thing about automations on Engage is it gives us marketers, right? It's like you are building an AI system. It's kind of like AI, right? Because you are giving conditions and actions. You are telling the system to do this and do that, so that your customers, when they are receiving these messages from you over a period of time, remember what Buki said, right? You are building a relationship with these customers. The customer does not know in the back end that it's an automation that is conversing with them, but it makes them feel welcome and makes them feel special, right? That you, the marketer, you know exactly the actions they are taking, and you are sending them for a period of time, depending on how they are using your products. So this can go on and on, but because of time, I won't go into this too much, right? So this can go on and on, and then when we are done with this, now, if I click on go live, this automation will go live instantly. But we have a new feature, which is very important for us marketers, because in most cases, it's important for us to be able to experience our automation for ourselves before we push it out to our customers. So we have test feature. So if I click on test, so what it does is that for you to be able to test your automation for yourself before pushing it out to customers, what this does is that it's going to omit all of the delays, and it's going to omit all of these delays. It's just going to let you see all the messages that you want to send to these customers. So what you need to do, you just need to put in your user ID. So this is very simple to understand. Let me show you. Let me just go back to my dashboard and show you what this looks like. So every customer, right, has a unique user ID. It's standard, it's industry practice, right? So if I want to test this automation, sorry, my network is acting crazy. So let me search, let me just pick a customer profile. Let me use this. So if I click on this customer's profile, oh gosh. Sorry guys, I hope you can still see my screen. I don't know what's happening.
Yes, we can see your screen perfectly.
Okay, sorry, it's network. Yeah. So for this customer, right, you see customer ID, you see this, right? So all I just have to do is pick this customer ID, this, I come back to my automation, I put it in here, and then click on run test. But I don't want to run this because I hope this email is not correct. I don't want to send an email to anybody, but once you do this and you click on run test, you can then view the results from the test. Or let me use my own profile on this demo account. Sorry, just a minute. So let me search. I think I have a profile here. Okay, I do. So I will share on the Tech Marketer Slack channel. I will share a login detail with you guys that will give you guys access to a demo account. We created a demo account for our students on Treford, so I will share it with you guys so that you can have access to it. Also, we have some dummy data that you can play with there. So I'll put in my user ID. Did I copy this right? Copy. Come here again. Then when I put in the user ID, right, you click on run test. And once you do that, you to test, you click on view test. You'll see in real time how your tests, like your test count is going through each stage of the automation. This is very important because you need to see it for yourself before you push it out to customers. And then when we are done, we click on go live. So if you click on go live, So you see how the results look like. It shows you how many customers have entered into the campaign, how many of them have hit the goal, how many of them have unsubscribed, and how many of them have exited the automation. You can also, sorry guys, sorry, my network. You can also click on events. Event shows you, all the customers that have joined the automation in real time, shows you the actions they are taking and etc. But I need to pause this because I have some real data there. But that is how to build an automation on Engage. I know I was moving very quickly, but like I said, we can always have this demo session again with you guys.
Thank you so
Buki.
much. Thank you, Aaron. We are so grateful. Thank you for your time. Guys, Aaron has to run, so anything that we want to ask him and all that, we'll probably have to do through myself or Tolu, but he'll share the dummy login anyway, so everybody can go and practice. That was the original plan, but it would have taken so much to do both the training and the and that. So you have that and you can do your practicing on your own. Take your time to go through it, use your own, use the test data that is there. So Aaron, I know you have to run. Thank you. And we will be in touch, right? Incidentally,
okay, yes.
Yeah?
Thank you so much, Aaron.
Yes, I'll share. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, Tolu. I'll share the login details on the Slack channel. Yeah, thank you guys. Okay, bye guys.
Bye.
Yeah, have a great weekend ahead.
Thank you. So incidentally, we've also got the termite guys here, okay, and they're meant to share their screen with us for 10 minutes as well, but we are running out of time, guys. So I'm going to plead with us. Can we quickly look at just 2 out of these case studies? Let's have a look at it, because I really want you guys to also be sort of participate and be involved. And then, anybody who wants to stay on after 1 o'clock can see the termite guys screen as well. Tolu, does that work? Because I'm conscious of time. I'm a very, I'm a disciplined person. I don't want to be indisciplined.
Yes.
Should we just look at the case studies? Yes.
Yes. Also, I think I would like to just hear from everyone. Is it okay that we do a maximum of 1:30, so that way we can just cover everything, wrap up the case studies, talk to the termite team, and then just wrap up for the day? Sorry that we are going beyond the time that we promised. But yes. So I guess I think the termite team person can go, and then so we know it's just the case studies, and we wrap up from there with question and answers. Okay.
Okay, before the termite team shares, I want to say something towards what we just saw from Aaron, right? Let me share my screen and show you something. Now, Aaron just shared a plan. So I want to give you an idea of what that plan would look like. He showed you something that he worked on with draw.io for his clients. But on my end, right, this is the way my content looks. So he showed you the process, the workflow, right? But to answer, I think it was Oye that mentioned, how it is, when you're doing the actual job. Before I start any job, I've written out all my comms already. These are the delays, the triggers, the reasons, the headline, the call to action, everything. So immediate, after profile completion, this is what you get. After 3 days, after 5 days, after 7 days, after 21 days, after 45 days, it's all there. Your content has to be written in this format, right? This is how you win as a marketer, that there's nothing that is left to chance. So it is now up to you as an organization to decide that, okay, this type of communication, do we want to be sending out in 7 days, or do we want to change it to 8 days? This type of trigger, do we want to change it to just, you just chop and change, but your content as a marketer must always be solid and complete in your portfolio before you commence your work. Thank you. Over to you, termite guys. Did everybody agree to staying on, letting the termite guys do 10 minutes, and then we will continue with our case study until 1:30? Did we say yes? Great, good stuff, good stuff. Juwon and Babajide, I think Babajide, you're to share your screen. Over to you. I love this, I love this. Everybody's saying yes, yay, yay, yay. Oh.
Hi, Buki, well done. Hi, Tolu, well done. All right, this is Joel from Termite. My colleague, Babajide, would just, give us a run through of what we do at Termite, and then especially our bulk SMS service, as we believe is most appropriate for the audience this morning. So please just listen to us, and then if you have any questions, you can always take that. We can also drop our contact and take that, after the entire training. Thank you. Abaji, over to you, please.
All right. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Let me know if you can hear me, please.
Yes, I can.
Okay, and you can see my screen?
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay. So thank you, Joanne. So as we all know, TAI is a Nigerian-based communication platform that provides businesses with tools to enable effective communication with their customers. So we have various channels. We have SMS, we have voice calls, we have email, we have WhatsApp also for OTP. I'll just be taking us through our dashboard. So once you go to temai.com, this is the first thing you see once you go to the Temai dashboard. So you log in here. So it takes you to the page where you input your username and password. So once you input your username and password, this is the first thing you're going to see, which is the home page. Let me just please hold on. Okay, so this is the home page. Now, the home page here would show you how much you have in your wallet, because before you can push out messages, you need to actually fund your wallet. And there's an option also here for you to fund your wallet. So we have different options to fund your wallet. We have 2 bank accounts, any one that you prefer. And we also have the option of you funding your wallet via Paystack. That's with the use of your debit card. Now you can see here that there's a minimum amount to recharge, which is 3,000 Naira. So you cannot go below that. So also on the dashboard, we have different tabs. We have SMS sender ID. Now this SMS sender ID is a name, or the name which when you push out messages, your customers will receive that particular name. So in my case here on my account, I have my sender ID as Greg. So if I send an SMS, it would read Greg. That would be the name that would deliver that SMS. So also at Temai, or when it comes to messaging, we have the promotional and we have the transactional. The promotional is for your campaign messages, maybe birthday messages, while the transactional is for OTP messages and user-based notifications. So for the promotional messages, you can send that from the dashboard, but for the transactional, it has to be done via the API. So those that are technical would understand what I mean. So so also for the WhatsApp also is a different integration entirely. That is also done backend. It has to be done via the API also, but I'll just take us through how to send messages on the platform. So you go to send message. Now you have the direct and you have the group. The direct message is a quicker way for you to send messages to selective numbers for about 100 customers. Now, all you need to do is you click on, so I'll just switch to my the business accounts because my account is not funded. So here's the business account now. So once you click on direct message, it takes you to this page. Now, before you must have gotten to this page, you need to actually create an SMS sender ID, which was where I showed you that had the name Greg, which is here. So you can always make a new request here. You share your KYC documents, you upload it on the platform, and also you create your sender ID. Now, your sender ID must not be more than 11 characters, and those 11 characters would include space. So a space is also regarded as a character. And also your sender ID cannot start with a number. You can have a number in between, you can have a number at the end, but it cannot start with a number, and it must be 11 characters. And you cannot have a sender ID that has all numbers. So once you click on send message, it shows you the channel. So because it's a business account, so we have different channels, but for Nigerian promotional, you select Nigerian promotional. So an average customer, once the customer logs into the dashboard, your channel is going to, the only channel you will see is Nigerian promotional. Now this is where you select the device ID. So we have different sender IDs, but I'll use Temai's sender ID, which is this. So over here, you need to select your country, Nigeria, which is +234. Then the message type, you leave it on plain. So can you suggest maybe numbers for me so I can just use the test? I would like to test with live numbers. So you can share live numbers for me. Or you can drop it on the chat, just like 5 numbers. Okay, thank you, Ochoa. This is an MTN number. Okay, do we have Airtel numbers? Do we have Airtel? Do we have Glow? Do we have 9 Mobile?
I think because of time, those 2 numbers is fine, since we've just got 2. Okay, 3. We've got an Airtel number now from Are doing.
Okay.
We can go with those 3. Yes, please.
All right. Thank you. So, okay, I need to remove this. So because you had already selected the country, there's actually no need for you to impute the country code, which is 234, but you can still impute it if you want to. So I'll be testing with, let's say, tests. That would be so here is the message content. So make sure that you're aware that on the dashboard, you need to just you can only send promotional messages. So you cannot send any transactional message that has to do with OTP via this route. So once you've imputed the message, I can just maybe, hi, Greg from Temai. Okay, I think this is better. Yes, and you click on send. So you should receive that message. Now for Airtel numbers, you might receive the message with the sender ID Secure M. So the Secure M is like a default sender ID for Temai. And this is because the telcos, Airtel, takes a long while to whitelist sender IDs on the promotional route. So in order not for messages not to fail, we actually rerouted Airtel to deliver with our default ID. But for MTN 9 Mobile Glow, you would receive it with the Temai sender ID. So I'll need to confirm if anyone has gotten it. Just received. Okay, that's good. So that's how you send messages. Okay, thank you, Ochoa. Thank you, Godfar. So that's how you send messages on the Temai platform. That's direct message. So we can also check the group SMS. So group SMS is for campaigns. Now we have different options. So for here, you can see send a campaign, you can see add a new contact. So you have to add a new contact before you can send the campaign. Now, once you click on add a new contact, you need to title the group. So I can say Greg.
Hope you don't mind because of time. Yes, we've actually run out of time. I think we can just okay, maybe we don't need to see the group part since we've already done a test and people understand it. Is that okay?
Okay, fine. It's fine. It's fine by me. My colleague John would also share like a demo link also.
Oh, thank you so much. So I just wanted to confirm also because I just signed up with Temai only recently. We can actually send SMSs to the same database bucket that we put in our engage.so we can link, because I linked my company Termite using the API, the RESTing API. I linked it already with my Engage account. So if you want to send SMSs on Engage, it goes through Termite. Am I correct?
Yes, yes. So you can also send promotional and transactional messages via the API. So yes, you can.
Okay, fantastic, fantastic. So sorry we had to rush you. It's me. I get so excited when I'm training, so we ran out of time. But we're so grateful that you've come here to share this with us. Thanks so much, guys. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Gregory. Thank you, Buki. So I'll just drop a link for anyone who wants to sign up, and then we can also liaise with Engage, to add them to our accounts, and then also get to use them. But thank you, Tolu. Thank you very much.
Okay, so what you've also done for us is that once we're getting into our new companies now, everybody on this call, we're going to make sure that it's Termite that they're using. Yay, everybody. Okay, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll be in touch, Juan. Thanks so much. I'm grateful for that.
Much appreciated.
Okay. So Lou, over to you. Yes.
All right. Thank you, everyone. So it's time for the case study presentation, right? Like I mentioned when I sent the broadcast to everybody, that you need to have selected one person in your group who would present your responses on your behalf. So we're going to start with group 1, which were in room 1. So who is the representative for that?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, all right.
So trying to get our adjustments. So how many minutes do we have to present?
Yeah,
literally 5 minutes.
Just 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Okay, I'll try. So yeah, I'm posting our adjustments in the chat box for everyone to see. So yeah, so I just came up with a tentative name. I will call this is a dating app. So I'll just call it Ship It. That's just from the top of my head. So for our segments, we were able to identify people based on their expected usage. Look at the persona. So there are people that are single and just looking forward to a relationship, and then people that are maybe in a complicated relationship might be looking for a fling and all that. Then we also consider the LGBTQ community in we're looking at inclusiveness now. Then for the triggers, we're able to identify all these. So
don't worry, I'm reading as you're continue telling us.
New signups. All right, so when people just sign up, there's that's a trigger that we're trying to monitor. Then we're also looking at active and non-active users. So, and the criteria I would give for that is the usage of the app rather for 15 days. So if you do not use the app for 15 days, any activity at all, you are considered inactive. And if you happen to use within those 15 days, you can kind of go to the bucket of active users. And yeah, there's that. Then looking at the platforms that we have, we intend to use the app in itself using push notifications. And then we're looking at emails using newsletter, and then our social media, of course, looking at the fact that our users, they are majorly people, they are people in their 20s. Well, we consider TikTok to be a very essential social media that we have to include. And then there are also suggestions of Instagram and LinkedIn. Might sound weird, but then considering that some of our audience are also not in Nigeria, people in Nigeria might not be able to relate with using LinkedIn as a platform to gather leads for a dating app. So, and for our content, yeah, though I'm not so sure if this follows the guidelines we've been given, but yeah. for our content, we intend to create, videos using TikTok as a case study here now, videos that explores, say, how I met the love of my life on Ship It. And then we include a call to action stating, find the love of your life on the app. And then people can click on that and it takes them to where they can download. And then what are we going to be tracking? We are going to be tracking number of new users, so we know how we are acquiring customers. Then we'll also be tracking number of active users, people that are checking the app, maybe following the push notifications, exploring, checking people's profile and stuff like that. And then we'll also be looking at the number of matched users, which is very, very critical, because that means that's like the bottom line. Because if people are scrolling through and they are not getting their needs fulfilled, we are going to be having like a very high churn rate. So yes, that is all from group one. And I want to thank my group members for roping me, basically roping me in to this presentation. So thank you very much. That's Project Ship It.
Thank you, Oweye. Sorry, I'm rushing, right? But I want to quickly give you some feedback. I'm reading what you wrote in the chat. First feedback, you got it right in terms of your triggers, new signups, how to use. So we, that's the onboarding series. Inactive users. But then when you said active users, any activity in the next 15 days, see who's been non-active. Actually, you're right. You're right. And one thing I like about your group is that you've noted that 30 days is too long for a dating app. You want them to be launching the app on a daily basis because it's a dating app. They have to check every day, who's liked me and all that. So you can't wait for somebody to not use it in 30 days because a subscription is 30 days. If they don't come back in 30 days, then you really have a problem. You needed to have nipped it in the bud before then. Now, when I said platform, right, maybe I wasn't clear about that. We're talking about where we're automating to, right? So you've gone on here to be talking Instagram and LinkedIn and all that, but we're essentially, what I mean is that if you're in marketing in the marketing automation team, where are you sending the messaging? So is it push? Is it in-app? Are you choosing SMS? Are you choosing email? So sorry if I wasn't clear with that one. What are we tracking? I just want to give you feedback on that as well. Number of new users, yes. Number of active users and matched users. There's something on dating apps that they also check is the engagement. You could split your active users into engaged users versus matched users. Imagine if somebody has a lot of people that have liked them or has a lot of people that have said hi, who is there, and you're not actually checking. So you're on the app, you subscribe, but you're not engaged. So that's another form of communication you need for such people, right? And communication for this type of thing, I'll leave it to in-app. It's too cumbersome. There's so many different buckets for you to start doing, emailing, doing an email flow for this kind of thing. So you just set a lot of your push notifications and in-app messaging to focus on that type. Well done. Thank you very much. It was great. Quickly over to group two. Group two.
Okay, hello, Buki. Good afternoon. So I was trying to share my screen. Oh, my goodness. I'm too nervous to do that. So let me see if I can just copy it.
Your marketers are not allowed to be nervous. Let me tell you something, right? Yeah. I've been in situations where I'm doing marketing in Enugu, I'm doing marketing in Jos, and at the same time, an MD is calling me and I have to explain what is going on in the field, be talking to traders, halfway through speaking good English to your MD. You don't have time for nervousness, so yeah, let's go.
All right, I'm pasting right now. Okay, so group two, our focus was, so we are an insurance company, target audience 40 plus. So sorry, there's one, let me look at the picture again. We have branches nationwide. Oh, 45 plus, sorry. So we have branches nationwide. So we have two segments, people who are close to retirement. So in Nigeria, you kind of retire after, I think, 30 years or when you're 60, right? So we have two segments, people who are close to retirement and would like to start putting things in place to ensure security for their family. So we're going to be offering them the life insurance. So the thing was that so many of us were kind of like beginners, so we didn't really get the full scope of like segmentation. Well, I think we tried our best. So people who have health issues, the second set of people who have health issues as a result of their age. So people in like 40 usually have like health related problems a lot. So platform
Did you
for
say people in their 40s?
communication, right? Not like, I mean, once you start approaching like 45, like you now see like,
continue, don't worry.
I know I used to work in a hospital, and like you see, they were usually like they had to start making certain lifestyle changes. So
hey, God, just continue, please.
Let me continue. So platform for communication, I don't think we did. Oh my God. So I said Facebook and WhatsApp, right? But now that we understand the full scope, right, where are we automating to? I think I'll answer that last so I can really think about it. So our CTA, we have secure your legacy, which is like going to be like, it's going to be like supporting content, but then the main CTA starts now, right? So you want to kind of like, you want them to secure. The primary thing is start paying for your life insurance. That's our focus. So we have 2 triggers. We have people who have been subscribed. So we have day 1, welcome, onboarding. I'm going to quickly rush through this. So day 2 to day 3, KYC verification. Day 4, day 7. So we expect that when so day 4, day 7, breakdown of all packages. So when we've broken down for you, we expect you to now make a decision, right? But if you don't do that by day 9, then we check, we call you, and then we ask, oh, what's the problem? Right? What are the blockers you're having? Day 15, follow-up emails, education benefits. Day 23, 26, send an email before salary day, send an email, another one, day 27, 28, after salary day. So you're like, oh, you have money now, so secure your legacy, like drop something, right? So day 31, we check in people having converted and then offer them a discount. Then day 31. Okay, so then for people that subscribe, they want to day 7 will actually just be the same for people that have it's going to be like the same flow until day 14. So these people, they are ready, so they subscribe. So day 14, we then reassure them that you made the right thing. We tell them the other things they can do. Then at day 25, we tell them, you know what, refer a friend and get a discount off another package, right? So we're offering you thank you, so you can have this as well. So we didn't do content. We didn't do content. We missed that. I don't know how we missed it. So what are we tracking? Okay, so my Google cut some parts. Number of leads, number of paying customers, number of paying new customers, right? Number of consistent paying customers, because insurance, from what I've heard, is like a monthly thing. You drop a certain amount. So we want to know who are the consistent guys. So referral per customers, and also we have churn rates, right? So that's all from my end from group 2. Thank you very much.
Very much. Well done. Thank you. For someone who is nervous, come on, you did great. You did great. Although you dragged those 40 people a bit sharp, but we forgive you. So let me just give you some quick feedback. In terms of platform for communication, yes, you've gotten the feedback. You wrote WhatsApp here. So I don't know who was paying attention to, I think Engage. From Engage and Terma, you can actually launch to WhatsApp. So you can send emails, SMS, and WhatsApp communications, right? So that's a new field that's been developed a lot in Nigeria now. There's a guy who's actually brought in 100% WhatsApp banking as a tool, as a whitelisting tool for Nigerians. He's in my tech group, but I've forgotten what the business is called right now. So it's going to be a big field from now on, you know, marketing to WhatsApp, right? Feedback for you, call to action feedback. For me, okay, so you said start now. Start now for me should just take me straight to a landing page. If I click the start now button, it should take me to a landing page where I fill in a form and maybe pay with my debit card and I've signed up to insurance. Or there's another call to action that we don't tend to use a lot in Nigeria, and it's talk to an agent now. So if I click the talk to an agent now, it should automatically dial customer care's number, and it's routed to one of the people there to answer a question. And because we're already in sync with the customer care team, they will know that, okay, these guys are running this campaign. They're sending out these blasts today. So we can expect that over the next 3 days, 4 days, when people open those emails, we can expect calls. So they'll have fully staffed their team to be ready to answer calls that are related to talk to us now, or talk to an agent now, or talk to a salesperson now. Anyway, you get the idea. Next feedback is, this is a lot. Day 1, day 2, day 4. You are bombarding me because you want to sell insurance. Lorikini, it's a lot. It's a lot. Your customers, try as much as possible for your customers to not receive more than 4 emails from you per month. I know you really want to make the sales, but that's really what it is. But you also, on the Engage platform, that there's what you can do on the platform. You can do something whereby you're running a campaign, but then you've also set the parameter to say that somebody cannot hit more than a certain amount of emails from you per month. So say, for example, there's 3 product managers in the company, right? Let's say one product manager is selling insurance, one product manager is selling loan, one is selling, I'm just making it up, direct deposits. You will set your communication in such a way that once he has hit 2 emails from the investment guy, 1 email from the loan guy, 1 email from this, it shuts down. So this person may not receive your newsletter at the end of the month, because you want, as a company, you don't want them to unsubscribe from that company. You want to be careful. And then what are we tracking? Number of leads, number of paying customers, right? There's something I also needed to mention. You put your day 31 and day 25, day 14 and day 25 for customers, right? But day 25 is too soon to upsell. Your upselling and cross-selling should be customers that are enjoying your service as a company. You're enjoying your brand as a whole. So by the time you start getting into email content like referral and upsell, you want to ensure that these are people that have been in the system for maybe like 90 days. So you start to set another set another bucket, right? Another bucket says has entered into the system, has done 90 days in the system. Then you start another flow. I hope everybody understood that. Like the parameter is entered the bucket, has done 90 days, then you start something else. Yes, Otua says triggers are too much. Okay, you're copying, you're writing what I'm saying. Okay. So from about day 90, you start another flow. So imagine if I have that flow of day 90, but I know that they have to go through my day 1 to 30 flow. So I'll set a parameter to say that, look, if this person in that 1 month has reached a certain number, they will not enter into the bucket of this other flow. I hope people understand that. All right, let's rush to group 3. I'm so sorry we're running out of time, but I hope we're enjoying ourselves. You know, it's a great way to spend the Saturday, if you ask me. I'm enjoying myself, you know. Hey, after it's raining. I'm sure it's raining everywhere. Anyway, group 3.
Hi, Buki. Hi, Buki. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dikbo. Let's go. Let's go.
All right. So I'm just going to post
somebody said let's do it every Saturday.
our case study in the chat. So our brief basically was to work on a case study on a vocational school, right, for adults. You know, the average age is 35 years old, and these are physical locations based. They have a main location in the southeast and some other locations in the south. So that was the brief. Now, what are the triggers? We have a little bit of an issue trying to define what the triggers were or what the triggers meant. But basically, we felt and we decided that it would be what are the motivations for the campaign. What are people looking out for? So our triggers would be, we're looking out for new signups, right? And also possibly location visits, seeing as we have physical locations in these places. So right, so those are our 2 triggers. We decided that the platforms, our target platforms would be Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram, basically the platforms in the meta universe.
Okay. Sorry, can I just really pause you real quick, right? Because I see everybody making this same, I won't say same mistake. I'll say it was communication on my part, right? When we say platforms. But I want you to remember why we're not looking at Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, right? Anybody who is following you on LinkedIn and all your social media, they're not necessarily these same guys. Remember the funnel I showed you in the beginning, right? The data that you have captured from these guys is what we're dealing with, like what information to send people that are already in your system. I could be following your LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram, and I've never even been your customer. So the kind of information that you share on your social media, that you send blast to somebody who is still in the awareness, consideration, interest stage of the funnel, is very different from somebody who is in the final stages, who is already in. I hope people are clear on what I'm saying here. There are 2 different customers. In fact, those guys are not even your customers. Your followers on Instagram, Twitter, social media are not yet your customers. So it's a different type of communication. So sorry if the communication wasn't clear. Dikbo,
okay.
Have you got me? Yeah.
Right, I got you. So we were looking at, okay, like sort of like somewhere further along on the funnel, where basically generating leads, and then we sort of like filter these leads into our email platform. So our platform, our preferred platform will be email. Considering the demography. So our preferred platform will be email, and there will be via newsletters and stuff like that. So it would be to giving the feedback that you're giving us just now. So it will be to create content, email content, right, that leads to a landing page for signups. Right. So in the content, we were discussing content as well. We came up with different ideas for content, and we spoke about
I'm with you.
We had different ideas for the copy. Basically, it's learn a new skill at your own pace, turn your business dream into reality, learn a skill to start a new business, and learn better handwork. We no get wahala. You know, the consideration is that we want to make the communication as easily accessible to the people in those locations as possible, right? And also, we also thought that in any event, it's also a good idea to have options so we can A/B test the copies that we have and see which ones perform better so we can double down on those ones. So that's why we have these options here. So call to action will be sign up or join a class now, you know, and this call to action leads you to a landing page where we can take data, email address, phone number, and stuff. So that's what we'll be tracking. What we'll be tracking the number of new signups. We'll also be tracking how much engagement our content is getting, and for possible upselling or reselling to them. And then also we'll be tracking the number of location visits, because I think it is important to know how many people actually do show up on the day to attend the classes. So okay. That's what we have at Book3.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dipo. I think you didn't post it in the chat, right?
It is in the chat.
Really?
I think so. Yes, I'm actually reading it from the chat.
Oh my goodness. Why am I not seeing it? Oh, I was talking.
I'm not sure.
Tolu?
Oh, I think I posted it in the chat.
Check that you're messaging everybody, like the old group.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So let me tell you my main feedback. I would have given if you posted it. I couldn't see it. Okay. My main feedback, I purposefully for group 3. Can you see where group 3? A vocational school for adults, right? I did this on purpose, and right. So let me tell you where you guys went wrong. Even though it's great, you had some great ideas, and especially your content where you want to tailor it to the type of audience that needs to hear it. But remember what I said earlier on about smartphones in Nigeria, where they're prevalent. I can understand that some people may not be aware of this until you have really been in the industry for a while. But number one is that the use of smartphones in Nigeria is really a South-South and Southwest phenomenon. I'm not saying that they don't have smartphones in Southeast or Northeast, but in terms of ratio of phone ownership, smartphone to feature phone, it's a Southwest, Northwest, South-South thing. That's number one. But most especially, we're talking vocational school. What are the types of people that will be going to a vocational school and not necessarily university? They are mostly feature phone owners. Or why would somebody need to register in vocational school? He's not somebody that is spending his money buying smartphones or spending his money buying data. So my first strategy would be an SMS drip, or a WhatsApp drip before we get to email. I wouldn't focus on email, I'm telling you. People only sign up to emails. It's only people like you and I that go to work, have a laptop, work for a large traditional company that need to be checking our emails. The regular, everyday, day-to-day people are not really bothered with email unless you need your email to sign up to, some kind of official, high-functioning product. It's, it's not something that is necessary. So I would focus mostly on SMS, right? And then also, what are the triggers? Trigger obviously is you've gotten their data from somewhere, they've indicated interest, you really want them to sign up, right? Then after they've signed up, right, and they're taking the course, obviously you want to create a drip whereby you are ensuring that everything is going on, you're sending the information that they need to know about the course, right? But like I said about the previous group where I said about day 90, right? There's a point where they've really been in the system and the product has reached a stickiness point where you can now start talking referrals and cross-sell, right? So at a day 90 or day whatever, or maybe even at course completion, you want to be starting a new drip where you're talking about referring their friends, or where you're giving an offer for a new type of course, or where you're talking about, you want to keep them in the system. If somebody learns engineering with you, I don't know, or tailoring with you, you might want them to come back for shoemaking, right? Or you want to ensure that they're really telling the entire community about it. So you create an SMS drip where you have the form link inside the SMS is actually possible. And then they can now go onto a simple Google form, which is on the phone. And so say, for example, if it was something like referral, right? I will create a form that they're going to, right? And I've tracked there that they've clicked, they've gone to that form. And I'll give a space there where they're recommending their friends' phone numbers. So this is you, Dikbo has recommended this is your phone number. And then, you're recommending these phone numbers so that I'll be able to send an SMS to these 5 people that you've recommended and say, Dikbo, who is a student of this vocational school, is recommending you for a course. Jide, please click here. You understand? That's just an example. Dikbo, I hope that's clear. Do you understand the feedback?
Absolutely. We actually thought, so yes, we did consider that WhatsApp would be the primary platform. So yes, that the feedback is well taken.
Thank you. Sorry, guys, that we're going past 1:30, but you know what? It is what it is. If it's raining near you, good. So you can't even go anywhere anyway. Let's just keep going. Number 4, group 4, room 4, traditional bank, customer age above 50. Are you there?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Can you hear me? This one.
Yeah.
All right, beautiful. So our case study is a traditional bank with an average customer age of 50. Majority of them are like in the Southwest. So our very first segment, we had educational level, occupation, pay grade, just like determining the amount of money being moved in and out of the account and all of that. So our chosen platforms are like SMS, given the customer age, like people that may not be very conversant like online and like receiving emails and all of that. They've also had like video and television. But now that you mentioned that the platform you were being specific towards was like those you can automate to. So I guess that's really out of it. So radio and television and partnerships, conditions for pension and out of it. So mostly just SMS, and then emails actually for people that maybe like civil servants who actually regularly use their emails and all of that. So our triggers are transactions made in the accounts like within a specific number of days. We recognize that a lot of these people in these age groups would really shy away from using apps. They would rather like visit their branches. I don't know, they don't really have a lot of trust in all these online things like they say. So most of what they would do, they would rather go to the branch itself. So our triggers are literally littered around those that would rather visit the branches and those that actually are more tech savvy and would actually download the app. And then investment opportunities that we're making available, given that we're a traditional bank. So our content will revolve around investment opportunities for these people. These people are nearing or already in the retirement age. So we are looking for ways that they would make money afterwards, where they don't actually have to go to work every day and all of that. That's for civil servants, and then pension as well. And we also include the ease of using the app. That will be targeted mostly towards those that, okay, every time they're always going to the bank, they want to transfer this amount of money, they're going to the bank, they want to do this, they're going to the bank. So our content could also revolve around ease of using the app to sort of drive them towards actually using the app instead of visiting the branch for every little transaction they want to make. So our call to action, okay, was visit your nearest branch for radio and television. Like I said, we didn't really understand the platform at first, but was visit your nearest branch for radio and television adverts, and they would have agents in the bank like directing them on like next process if you want to download the app and all of that. It could also be download the app if you're getting emails. Invest now if
our content is built around investment opportunities, start saving now or secure your future. That's for pension. That's pension related. So our tracking would include like app downloads, funds flowing in and out of the accounts, or for our specific target audiences, and then investment from their accounts as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Feishayo. I'm just taking note of what feedback I want to give you. I think you also didn't post. Did you post it?
No. I did.
Oh, maybe.
Did I?
No, don't worry. Let me. Did you post? Stop
yes,
sharing. Stop sharing. I'm just trying to stop sharing the screen so I can read it. Okay. Group 4, right? Okay.
Yes.
So, okay, I hope I remember everything I wanted to tell you. Okay. Now, segments, when you mention segments, educational level, occupation, and pay grade, right? Now, unfortunately, in marketing automation, your segments are very different from the real world segments, right? Your segments should be based on their life cycle or product usage. I'm going to tell you what I mean. Now, if I want to judge and say educational level, right? Do you know that somebody can have a master's or a PhD, right? But they're not the highest spender. They're not the ones whose bank balance is always 5 million in your bank account. So be very, very careful to use educational level as anything in Nigeria. One of my uncles before he died was one of the richest men I know in Lagos State, one of the original, like richest, businessmen in this Lagos. But for a long time, he used to brag and say to people that, my wife even has more GCSEs than me. I only have 4. My wife has 6 GCSEs. Now, the amount of money that this man is moving to the bank, do you want to be using educational level to put him in a separate segment? No way. This is somebody that needs an account officer to be coming to his house to come and count his money. I hope you understand, okay? So, segments is usually what we call segments in marketing automation is their behavior with your products, right? And you judge that based on existing behaviors. You study over time, right? How these people behave, like, with money. So your product is a money, so how do they carry money? Are they people that deposit money on a daily basis? What is their lifestyle? Or are they people that they just always have 5 million naira sitting there? But there's one segment that I want us to always pay attention to that a lot of banks have not captured, right? The person that deposits money on a daily basis, right? That deposits 50,000, 250,000 daily is likely to be what? A trader. The person that usually has 5 million naira sitting there is likely to be what? A retired person. Different behavior. But the person who has a fixed amount coming into the account between the 23rd to the 27th of the month, every month is a salary earner. 3 different types of people. You see the difference? Yeah.
Yes.
Segment is their behavior around your product. Okay. That's one. You talked about triggers, transactions made in the app, download the app, lack of investment. Okay, that's a trigger. But there was something that you said, visit or not visit the branch. That is a segment, not a trigger, right? I don't know where you mentioned it. You said visit or not visit the branch. So if I were a banker who has a cluster of people in my database, right? The people who don't visit the bank, I would keep them as an email banking app communication type of people. But I will be tracking people who constantly come to the bank. Why? I will put them into a bucket, right? That's we now create a separate communication for. Till date, I have not seen a Nigerian bank that's been able to do this thing because they keep telling all of us, sending emails to all of us to say, use your banking app, right? If I go into the branch and I want to do something, they'll say to me, madam, do you know you could have used your branch banking app to do that? They have not quite figured out this number of people that visit the bank on a daily basis. What is keeping them from that banking app? Create a separate type of communication. Maybe they're going to have to go into a bucket and you do a campaign for a whole month where customer care will call these people and walk them through how to use the app. I still, till date, as they say in the Bible, I have been young and I have been old, and I have never seen what? I've never seen banks do some of these tactics that I'm talking about, right? But it takes nothing from them to just find out these guys that keep coming to the bank. Keep a separate communication from the Feishayos and the Bukis who already know how to use the app. You can't send the two of us the same type of communication. Those guys, there's something that they're afraid of. And sometimes it's not even fair. Somebody just has not helped them to onboard, right? So what else did you say? Yes, you said about call to action. You said secure your future, increase your investment or something like that. I want to be clear that call to action, please, 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 let's try and make it more specific, more direct. Secure your future is good if the person is clicking to go into one website to read. But if your MD has given you one kind of crazy target and you're really pressed for time, right? I'll be using something like invest now or start a plan now or choose a plan, choose an investment plan now so that they're going somewhere to a site that says, look, the 30-day investment, the 90-day investment or the 120-day investment, pick one, put your money, let's go. You understand? You want to be as specific, as direct as possible, not vague in call to actions. Okay? Thank you. Thank you, Feishayo. Let's move on quickly to group 5. Group 5.
Hi.
Sorry, please, can I have like a quick question?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay. So initially when you mentioned segments, like based on the user's habits, like those that come to the bank, like those that visit the branch, do daily transactions, like are there like mediums put in place to show that, okay, these people came into the bank to deposit money, they are doing it daily, right? So they're all traders, but like these people came into the bank and these people did their transactions online. Like, are there mediums in place to like show and like segment these things?
I love your question, Feishayo. If I were a marketer still in traditional banking, right? What we're meant to be doing is the branches are supposed to log, you did 300 bank transactions today, right? The data should be somewhere that a marketer should pick from. Like if we have 26 branches nationwide, right? I should be able to pull the data into a bucket and create a communication to that data. It's somewhere. This person came and deposited 200K. This person came and withdrew 10K. Their data is somewhere. But the likelihood is that, thank you, somebody, Ochua said they record it manually, right? Technically not so, because they've gone into the system to complete it. But the only reason I can tell you that we probably don't do it, right, is that the NIP system, the system that they're using to do that, record that transaction, is very separate from our CRM system, right? So it's not been, there's no interaction between the two systems because one has to remain very, very, very secure. In other words, if I'm a customer care or comms person or marketing person who is in charge of this CRM system, I'm not supposed to know what is going on in this system, this banking system, because it's very, what's the word? Because of data protection laws, right? But if I'm a marketer that wants to do a campaign, if my MD says, guys, there's not enough people in our apps, right? And we have too many people still going to the branches, I will call on that data. I'll speak to all branch managers and say, look, in the past 30 days, I want a list of all the people that have entered into the branch because I want to do a specific campaign. Do you understand? And it will be dropped into this bucket. We filter it, we clean it. This is where SQL and databasing work comes in. You understand? We filter it, we clean it, and then we start a campaign. And then once that campaign is done, we close that and close that bucket. Do you understand what I mean? But it's not done, it's manual, it's on a different system. Thank you, Faisha.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Group five. Can we have group 5?
Good afternoon.
Yes.
My name is Zimo. I'm privileged to lead Group 5. My team members hacked the IRF portal to put me up here as the leader. So I'm going to go straight into our case study. We were privileged to be the Islamic bank resident in the north and zoned in the northeast. And so out of peer pressure, I would say our bank's name is Halal Bank. And I would say why. So straight into the platform communications, knowing that Termite supports SMS and phone calls, and due to the nature of our business, which
Sorry,
the average.
Imo, can you drop what you wrote? Can you drop it in the chat? So
yeah, I'm reading from the chat. It's in the chat. Let me just put it again because, yeah. So our platform for communications primarily would be Termite, knowing that Termite supports SMS and phone calls. And due to the nature of our business, which the average customer base is age 40 and above, we know that due to the age barrier in the north, the education barrier, location, and smartphone penetration, we have to go heavy on SMS and phone calls. And for also knowing that in the North, people mostly use their desktop, we also want to leverage Facebook for digital communications, targeting those desktop users. And also, as a comms team that is going to be very intentional, we want to have WhatsApp as also a comms backup, knowing that we're going to be also having WhatsApp Blast enabled by Web Engage. And for our triggers, we out from our account signups and just getting customers' data, we want to monitor account transactions, the use of USSD, knowing that smartphone again is not high penetration in the North, and also knowing that in the North FX disbursement is a big opportunity. We want to study and trigger our FX disbursement. So to achieve this, our content is going to leverage ease of FX. Our content is going to communicate ease of FX, and specifically concierge services for high net worth individuals who are not able to come to the bank or who would prefer our agents to go attend to them or disburse their FX in their offices or institutions. And also want to also put out content that individuals can get finances for spending and for their Salah and Eid celebrations, and also want to push out content for people to leverage USSD. And all of this is based on the Islamic principle of halal, which is basically pushing interest-free loans to businesses and business owners. So we're going to be using, again, SMS and calls blast in local language due to education barrier. And of course, this would be specified during customer registration, because we understand in Nigeria that not everyone in the North might be a Muslim. So we know that, of course, sometimes people might access a business because, of course, they have unique selling points like we do with FX and ease of FX disbursement. So not to confuse our customers, we're going to be having specified data assets so that we'll be able to communicate people in their specified language. And our call to actions would be speak with an agent if you want to access the ease of FX, invite us over, get FX easily, finance your business or your festivities with interest-free loans. And what would we like to measure? It is USSD usage to divert in-bank traffic, especially for peak feast periods when people have so much to do, and want to also monitor foot traffic, considering the high nature of our transactions and the sensitivity of it. We also want to monitor the loan disbursement rate, which is the speed and also the volume of our loan disbursement rate monthly. And we also want to measure revenue and profit inflow from our FX transactions, because that's a big determinant of our business existence. And again, knowing that our business is more heavy on text and more heavy on offline communications, we want to really monitor and measure our customer care inquiries, customer support inquiries, and also our satisfactory rate of any inquiry and the calls and the messages we get for support. So that would be it for us. Sorry, I went too fast because of time.
No, it's okay. You're doing really good. I hope everybody caught that. At least they can read it from the chat section. My feedback, well done, guys. You got it spot on, because I try to use different regions and different types of companies for these case studies so that you guys can understand that we don't all behave the same, and every single company is unique, every type of customer is unique, and every region that you operate in is unique, right? That's why I varied these, and you got it spot on. I just have feedback from you. I'm reading the chat. Your call to action, you said speak with an agent. Yes, it will take us to a phone call, but invite us over is not a call to action. Okay, it's the same as speak with an agent, right? Or talk to an agent or contact an agent today. So speak with an agent can go to a phone call, but contact an agent can actually go to a form, or ask an agent, get call back today. You understand? Anyway, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Get FX easily is also not a call to action, because you're going to have lots of people clicking on it, but what you wrote is not what you mean. Okay. You understand? So I mean, you know, call to action should just be as straightforward as possible. We want an action. It's an action for a reason. So when we say finance your business festivities with interest-free loans, that's not a call to action. A call to action is get a loan now. Then when they now go to the page, you can put a heading, finance your business festivities, blah, blah, blah. Then you can say the different types of loans, and they pick one and they put their email, you know, that kind of thing. But your call to action is a button. It's just a button. You don't have time to be saying a lot of things, right? We want them to know specifically, do this now. That's the style of a call to action. And do I have any other? Also, in terms of measuring USSD usage to divert, okay, foot traffic on site. Okay, customer care inquiries, customer support. Try and make sure that what you are measuring, you're measuring a lot of stuff, but focus on a metric that adds value to your business. Adds value. I'll share a slide just before we close. When in fact now I think we can really close at 2. When after group 6 presents, I'll share a slide that just talks about measurement, and then we can close from there. Let's go group 6.
Okay, can I ask a quick very quick question?
Yes.
In your feedback, you leveraged on digital comms, but we are not digital comms because of the traffic, not traffic, but the zone that we are targeting. There are less of offline users, which is phones and SMS. So which is why we put that call to action so that people would call, or we would call people to communicate our services, because of course, not low smartphone penetration. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. I understand your feedback. So actually you're right. So if you were sending SMSs, it has to have a link to do something. You understand? Remember that even though we have to understand our customers and the way they interact with what you call it, digital and all that, we still have to ensure that we're automating, we're using the best use of technology to address these guys. So a lot of WhatsApp, you can actually use a chatbot inside WhatsApp. Once they go to WhatsApp, right? If you're doing a WhatsApp comms, you can set your chatbot to answer certain questions, to ask them and answer certain questions, and then your chatbot feeds you back into the directory. You understand? So if I've sent something that says get a loan today, and they've clicked on it in WhatsApp, WhatsApp will ask them what's your name, they respond, what's your email, they respond, how much do you need, blah, 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 what's your account number. It goes back into your database, and then it triggers a phone call from the agent to say, hello, Mr. Imo, you have applied for 50K. I just want to finish the process and tell you whether you can get 50K or not. I'm just giving you an idea, but you understand what I mean. It has to have a link to somewhere that they're going, right? So we have to work around technology and feature phones. We have to make sure we find a way around it, right?
Bless you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Group 6. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Good day, ma. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adekoya Tudualashe, and I'm representing Group 6. So our user persona is the average age for our user persona is 30, and our users are all over Nigeria, but mainly in the South. And our app is a fintech app. So we projected that our users will be young professionals, those that already have like a source of income, and then our language would also be English, and then Pidgin because of the region, that's South. So our major platform for communication will be email, since they are young professionals.
Did you cut and paste? You guys didn't write that. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Let's go.
Did. All right. Okay. So our major platform is email and push notifications, considering our user personas. Then for the triggers, that would be new customers, those who don't know like their way around the app yet, or those that have not completed registration or have not made deposit. And then for existing customers, or those that are already using the app and maybe they've not used the app for a while, we also have like a target for them as well. So their triggers will be they've not been using the app, they've not been making deposit, and then our content would include video content or video demos to help them find their way around the apps. Then for a call to action on that content, to have click this link to get a quick run through of our app. Then for further content, we would have economic indications of what is going on in the country, how they can maximize their money and all of that. And then we would also present how our app will help them as well. So lastly, on the content and our CTA, we have like so when payment is approaching, when we know that they're going to like get salary, we can send them newsletters or like emails about how they can budget their money, and then how our app can help them with that. Then for how we're going to track success, so it will be how many people followed the link that we put in the email, then the time that is spent on the app, the volume of transactions weekly or monthly. So we also have like other incentives just to get them to use our app, and that would be once they make a deposit, they get an interest or a point that they can maybe later turn into money. And then we also have another incentive of customer recognition, where we like recognize those that use the app well in that month, just so that we can encourage other people to use the app. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Toluwaya Share. I don't even have anything to critique because you guys got it right, and I suspect that that's because we're all using fintech apps. So it's kind of like Ojorosha, you understand? But just quick feedback for you. Sorry, okay. Quick feedback. Something that you could have added, right? Is can everybody see my screen? I'm sharing a page where I wrote some of the drips, right? The most common drips that we create for email comms. So what you could have added is number one. I'm looking for which one I want to share with you. Abandon cart. Okay, so if I take an action on a fintech app, so let's use PiggyVest or CarryWise, right?
Yes, sir.
So if I do a savings, what's that thing called? What's that type of savings that we do that expires 30 days or 60 days or something? Much. Anyway, you know that thing I'm talking about. I forget the name, right?
Fixed deposits.
It's fixed deposit in the real world.
Lock. Okay.
Safe lock. Thank you. God bless you. If I do a safe lock, right? I know in the traditional, whoever said fixed deposits, you're a traditional banker from before. So it's no longer, those were the times when we used to fill form in traditional banks. Now it's safe lock. If I do a safe lock for 60 days, right? Now, that's a purchase event. If you look at my number 2 of 9, right? So you do a confirmation and you tell me, yes, you have done a safe lock and it will expire in, let's say, September 1, right? Now, the moment my safe lock unlocks and my money, I have access to my money, obviously you've done an automated email to tell me I now have access to my money. But one thing that you could do to improve the service is a retargeting email. You set a delay of 3 days or whenever, right? And send me another email to say, hey, why don't you try this other type of safe lock or target savings? That's the name I was trying to remember. Why don't you also try this type of target savings for your holiday or for something or for whatever, right? That's number 2 of 9. Now, if we look at 5 of 9, where I said re-engagement or reminder comes, if I'm somebody that did a safe lock in January, did a safe lock in March, did a safe lock in June, and then you don't hear from me again till December, honey, we have a problem. I'm about to stop using your app. You understand? So you need to set a re-engagement or reminder comms, you understand, to start telling me about other services or to win me back. Sometimes we call it win back or re-engagement, right? But at the same time, if I've been regularly doing safe lock, right, and I've been successful at it, I always pay on time, I always do whatever on my target savings, then it's time to tell me about my dollar savings, right? So we marketers have to be creative, because at the end of the day, remember, what is the objective? The objective is you want me to bring more money. If I'm always doing safe lock of 100K, you'll be like, this person, you must have another 50K somewhere. Come and spend it and do something else. That's the target. That's the objective. As a growth marketer, you are tasked with sharing with your CMO or your MD how all this, your communication that you're doing everywhere, has increased spend. The customer has brought more money. Look at this customer, Buki. She used to spend 100K. You know, these type of customers who are in this area, who do this, who do that. Before, the average spend was 100K. But now, because of the comms that I've been doing on a monthly basis, they now spend 150K on average. That's success. You understand? I hope everybody gets that. Yeah.
Yes. So thank you very much.
You're most welcome. As marketers, please stop with the celebratory mails. I beg you in the name of God. And please tell everybody, because it's something I'm so passionate about. You understand? I don't want to be seeing those happy Eid, happy Salah, happy Christmas, happy, what else are we happy in? That thing just, I don't know. Marketers, we can do better. Your emails and your SMSs are not just for just sending a happy Easter or something. Kalim's hand is raised, please.
Yes, please. Just a quick question. You keep mentioning drips, so I wonder, I'm not clear what exactly a drip means.
Oh, sorry about that. Thanks for bringing it up. So a drip is what Aaron called a flow, right? So after you sent one and then there's a delay, when is the next email? And then if else, you know, were you here when Aaron presented his screen?
Yes,
right?
I was. Yes.
So if I've said in first day one, when he signs up, wait 3 minutes, send this email. Then after 5 days, send this other email. Then after, I don't know, if he takes the action, he gets this email to say, thank you for investing. If he doesn't take the action, he gets this email. If after a while he still doesn't get the action, he gets the do the action, he gets this. So all that we call drips, right? But on the platform, somebody who's using the platform will call it a flow. You understand? You remember I shared with you, were you here when I shared this? This is what I call an email drip. I've written out the content for it. What do you get immediately? After they finish profile completion, what do they get? After 3 days, what else do you get? After 5 days, this is what we call an email drip. Are we good?
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. So just to round up, because I promised I will be able to go at 2 p.m. To round up, please, metrics that matter. It's very important that you are tracking your metrics. If you look at the what I've written here, pre-acquisition metrics, when you're a general marketer, you're still doing click-through rates, CPC, heat maps. Oh, look at this heat map. It's very red in Abuja. It's very yellow in Port Harcourt. That means people in Abuja are the ones signing up. We don't really want to know all that. You see this space where I've circled red? That is the very, very, very crunch metric that we're looking at as marketers. Most engaged features. We're good with, they use our app to pay NEPA bill. But you know what? We make 100 Naira every single time they pay DSTV. So marketers, how do we create a campaign to make sure that when they're paying DSTV bill, because maybe DSTV is 40 million Naira customers around Nigeria, we want to make sure that it is our own app that they use to pay that DSTV bill, because it makes us 100 Naira per customer, you understand? So we create a whole campaign to ensure, choose us to pay DSTV. I'm just giving you an example. App launch rate, right? If I'm a dating app and they don't open my app 3 times a day, I have a problem. If I'm a fintech app and you don't open my app, fintechs maybe use it for target savings. Okay, if you don't open my app in 2 months, 3 months, I have a problem. If I'm a traditional bank, if you don't open it 5 times in a month, 5 times, because you're going to need to send somebody money, you're going to need to pay 1 or 2 bills, and you're going to need to, I don't know what, for whatever reason. But there should be some metrics that mean success and some that mean you are starting to fail in each organization. And that is when they're already in. So you need to be reporting that with your team on a weekly basis. Say our launch rate is going up, our something rate is going down. You understand, that sort of thing. And obviously we know referral rates, churn rate, uninstall rate. If one day your churn rate suddenly starts to go up, right? Or uninstall rate starts to go up, can somebody share with me what they think could be the problem? If your customer retention rate is going up, retention rate is going down, what I call here the long-term matrix. Can you see the metrics at the end? If your uninstall rate starts to go up, your referral rate starts to go down, what could you be the problem? Yes, somebody wrote new competitor. What else? Just for us to close, let's have some trivia, right? All of a sudden, the metrics are all over the place. Your uninstall rate is increasing. And then your referral rate is reducing. And then what else? Retention rate is also reducing. Somebody said unsatisfaction. Somebody said poor user experience. Exactly. So it's your job as a marketer to be getting this data every single week. Because the moment this happens, Omotayo says lack of trust, not necessarily lack of trust, because we're talking about customers that are already in. Thank you. Kalim said customers having a problem they've not been having with the service before. Exactly, spot on. I could mention some traditional banks, some banking apps that happened to recently, but no. I'm not going to do that, right? So if that suddenly starts to happen, where is the first place you go to? You go and start having a meeting with your developers. Something is happening. We have a bug somewhere. We have something going on in the system. What is it? As a marketer, what do you do to fix it? You call a user testing forum. Call a couple of customers together and start to say what is going on. Why are we not having? Why are we not getting users on this app? Somebody said rumors of problems. Sometimes, okay, rumors could be it. Yes, it's true. Because if people are suddenly saying on social media that, this banking app keeps failing, this banking app keeps failing. In fact, that happened to me recently. Somebody paid me a large amount of money into one account that they're used to sending money. But I was reading on social media that some people have been having problems with that with that app. What did I do? I just quickly transferred all that money. I didn't use that app to pay any of my bills. I don't want stories that touch. I quickly transferred all that money and see how that bank lost their little 25 naira and 100 naira from me. I could have used all that money to pay all the bills I needed to do that month, but instead I removed it. So what you need to do is that once those kind of metrics are going up, you need to quickly call a meeting with your developers. But before the developers anyway, it's a user testing scenario. You need to go and visit your customers, talk to your customers, put them in the focus group and have a meeting. And then you go back to developers to tell them where the bugs are. But as a marketer, you need to be on top. So guys, ladies and gentlemen, I promised a 2 o'clock end. This is where we're ending today. I hope you've had a fantastic session. Is there anything else I need to share? I don't know. Tolu, are you there?
I'm here.
Any questions, comments?
Woo. That was super amazing, Buki. Like, this has been when you were using one local, like, and obviously this is so informative that it's fine if we go past one. But yes, this was definitely amazing, and we really thank you for doing this, right? So yeah, if you do have any questions, please ask now. Buki is also on the Slack channel, so if you obviously have any further questions after.
Oh, sorry, Imo's hand is raised. I'm not very active on Slack in these days because I have a couple of trainings every week from now till September. So I'm not as active, but I'll try to dip in here and there. But Imo has a question, please. Sorry to cut you. Did I cut you, Tolu? Imo's hand is raised.
Imo, you can go ahead and ask a question.
Please, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can.
All right, thank you so much. This was, even from the beginning, I said this was an amazing session and I already love you. So thank you again. 3 quick questions, right? Number one, we hear a lot about, okay, what the timeline before a marketer should panic, but I've not heard enough about what should be the healthy timeline for A/B testing. So you have all of these amazing strategies, but what should be the timeline before you say, okay, this strategy is not working? I hear a lot of strategies in marketing, even in a Slack group, but I've never heard someone really say, what is the healthy timeline? Study it for 2 months and dump it. Study for 3 months and dump it. Number two, I want to ask, I was not able to really register through the link. So that means I don't have the emails and everything. How do I please get the recording to make sure that I have all of the sessions and the presentations? Number three, real quick, escrow traditionally has been really giving fintechs an issue. So big fintechs come try to sell escrow and everything. What do you think fintechs who escrow is their main solution are not doing really well? I had a session with someone who was saying that it is even banks who have the advantage of doing escrow because that trust factor of maybe physical businesses or physical branches are already there. But for fintechs who are more virtual, Nigerians don't really trust them. So how can a virtual how can a virtual tech company or whatever really break down that escrow market in Nigeria? I am a co-founder of a digital escrow, so the question is personal to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Imo. So I'm going to take the first question, which is about A/B testing. A/B testing is subjective in the sense that for every single campaign, it has the what they call lead time. So for example, if I'm doing A/B testing of an email campaign, is 1 day, right? Because people usually open their emails in that 1 day, right? So let me tell you how to do A/B testing in email campaigns. If there's 100 people, right, but I don't know which campaign to blast to my 100, I'm just giving an example. Let me say, okay, 100,000. I don't know which campaign, which headline, which call to action, which one will work, right? There's 100,000 people in the database. I will send out, let's say, one type to 5,000 people, and then one type to 5,000 people. Generally, emails get opened within the first 24 hours, within the first 4 to 24 hours. So all I have to do is study it for the first few hours. Once I've got enough people, if I have, 60% choosing this one and 22% choosing this one, I've already got my answer, right? So I'll even blast the email by the next blasting session. We don't send out emails in the evening. Emails are usually best sent very early morning. So in that 1 day, I've already got my answer. I send tomorrow. But now if I'm doing a digital marketing campaign and I'm doing A/B testing, it's 2 weeks. you need time for the algorithms to learn, right? To tell you, this is where it's being picked up and that sort of thing. So you don't want to rush it. That's 2 weeks, right? But I wasn't sure, when you said A/B testing, what you were, but I hope I've given you an example. So it's really subjective to how that platform learns, how the algorithms on that platform learn, and how the customers in that space behave, okay? Same thing with when I've done Instagram campaigns. My guys have always said to me that sometimes I pull these campaigns too fast, and it's true. Instagram, Twitter, give them 2 weeks to learn, right? Give the algorithm so you start to see who is clicking, which one they're clicking on, and then you can switch. You mentioned A/B testing. Then I'm going to go into escrow, right? Because that's the product that you do, and you're trying to see how to get that comfort and confidence in you and your business. Let me tell you the honest truth, something about Nigeria marketing. We conflate visibility with efficiency and superiority and what they call it? Superiority, significance and achievements, right? I'll repeat, we conflate visibility with a lot of things. So what you need to be doing in more is you need to be visible in the right places. Let people start to see that this guy is somebody, right? And I'm sorry if this seems very weird, all right? But this is the advice I'll give anybody. In Nigeria, you need to be seen. You need to have people interviewing you. You need to have blogs talking about you, right? Recommending you, saying this guy does this, this company does this. If not, they'll just, thank you, God bless you, Ochua, use Victor Fatomi style, right? Victor recently schooled us on how to pronounce his name, so I'm getting pretty good at that. Fatomi, be visible, right? Like, I mean, I've had situations where, I've gone somewhere, I've tried to apply for a loan and this is that, and somebody says to me, you will not believe, they say, we know your brother. Do you understand? At least my brother is visible. Do you understand? So at the end of the day, it's what it is. Either you're visible, your company is visible. You need to PR your company. Something needs to be PRing your company. Then on the other hand, we also need your customers to be PRing your company. If I started seeing in many different places that somebody is recommending and somebody is saying, and I'm saying organically, really naturally, not those kind of gimmicky chatbotty types that we get on Twitter, people saying, yes, use this company. And I'm thinking, you sound like you've been paid to say this. I want to see customers and many people saying, man, I've tried those guys, they're not bad, right? And that's the truth. You need to PR your business. That's how it works. I've forgotten what you asked was number 2. Help me out.
About the email, I didn't sign up through the traditional way, so I may not get the recordings. So I'm trying to ask, how will I get the recordings? Do I drop an email to Toluwin or something?
Okay, don't worry. Just send a message to Tolu and she'll let you guys know the aftermath of what's happening next on that. Thank you, Imo. Thank you. Any other question, any other comments? Please tell people on Twitter how amazing Tech Marketers Hub is. Tell people on Twitter how amazing this session was. Tweet at us and whatever else we want to do. Yeah, Tolu, are we free to go?
Yes. Yes, thank you so much. So for those asking for the recordings will be shared on Slack, and I've shared the link to the Slack channel in the group chat. So please, if you're not yet on Slack community, please feel free to join. Buki, please also share like relevant links in the chat box for anyone who wants to follow you on social media or follow you on social media and reach out eventually. If you have any feedback, please feel free to share your feedback on Slack or on social media and tag both Buki and Tech Marketers Hub. Twitter, we are Tech Marketers _, and for IG, we are Tech Marketers Hub. So yeah, feel free to, of course, share your feedback directly with us, because we plan to do much more of this within the next few months. And of course, we also have a bi-weekly Twitter Spaces session that we do called Back to Basics, which is coming back in August as well. So thank you so much, everyone. And thank you. So sorry that we've used an extra hour and 12 minutes, but I think you agree with me if I say this is definitely worth it, for sure. Like, this was definitely worth it. So yeah, thank you. And then Buki also shared the slide. We shared that with the recording at the end of it all. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Have a lovely rest of the weekend.
Rest of your weekend. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
No complaints about the extra hour. All right, guys.
All right.
Thank you, Buki. The masterclass was very, very, very helpful. It was very insightful. I just want to say